is going on, everybody? Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. I'm talking to you on a different mic. I don't know if you're getting it because my mic it's kind of tripping out there towards the end. But hopefully everyone's doing well. Daytona, how are you doing? Daytona, we got a story for you. We got a story for Crow. We got a story for Daytona. We got a story for Rebellica. So we got some story. I see Audi wants to talk about. So we got it. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. I got a lot of news stuff I want to talk about. My AV good. Okay, good. One of my business partners, Richard, he wants to talk about stuff. So hopefully we got a ton of stuff going on. But first of all, how's everyone doing? I've been doing a lot of traveling. So, Daytona, I was about to, this is, you already beat me to it. We'll start off there. So, I have traveling that I was doing last weekend. I have traveling that I'm doing this weekend. So I don't know if we'll have a show next week. Let me figure that out. Like, I don't know. I'm being told I have to be somewhere that I don't even know where I have to be, but I have to be somewhere maybe on Thursday next week. So if it's during the day and I can get back, I will, but I'm just putting that out there. I may not be here next week, which I would be so sad. Um, so we'll see. Hey, Whit, what's going on? Um, but yeah, I see. So we're gonna start there. Let's start there because I was gonna hold it for later because I don't know. It's getting mixed reviews. But let's start it off there. Let's start it off there. Daytona wanted to talk about it. He got to it first. It was like one of our more fun pieces to talk about. So there's that. But yeah, let's get straight to it. Lana Del Rey. Don't know if you've heard of her. She is a pop artist. I don't want to offend anybody by calling her that. But Lana Del Rey's, she is doing. Let me see. Can I do it like this? There we go. Let's do it. Let's get her. She's going to be doing the theme song on 007 First Light. Now, this is the game that's going to be releasing for PlayStation, PC, and Xbox in May. Switch 2 players. It will come to you in July. But yeah, there you go. You've got it first. Lana Del Rey doing a 007 First Light. She's going to be doing it. So Rouster's saying he's already heard it. I don't know if any of y'all have listened. I don't even know if any of y'all are Lana Del Rey fans out there. But yes, she's going to do it. So this was going to be another segment later on. We were going to pair it up a little bit, Rebellica's section, because of there's some similarities that I want to talk to, and we can talk about it again later on. But I think it's interesting. We've seen with other hits, games where they have like some pretty solid tracks, pretty solid scores. Y'all know that's like one of my favorite category, who has the best score at the Game Awards. But now we're starting to see some heavy hitters, and I get it. It's not the first time we've seen this. I totally understand that. But you are starting to see I don't even want to know if I would call it mainstream, but like hit artists. You're seeing politicians. You're seeing like a lot of media really gravitate around games, and not in like a tokenizing way, but in a way that it's kind of just the medium where they're meeting people at. And we're going to talk about that more later on, because I thought it was something really interesting that Rebellica shared. And so, yeah, let me know if you're excited about this. I know some people are. The song registrations were first discovered in October. Okay. Nice. What's getting mixed reviews? Hey, Mel, the song is getting some mixed reviews. Lana is queen. Okay. And y'all, if y'all haven't checked Mel's out, he dropped another video last night on what should I call it? Why can I never think of this style? But go check it out. Mel has another video out. Go. Y'all know he does an amazing job. Go check it out. But yeah, Lana said to release new albums, Stove later. Why is an album called Stove? I feel like that's like when, like, around, how was it, like 25, 30 years ago, Michael Jackson was like, hey, I have a child and their name is Flashlight. I feel like that's what I get when I hear the album's called Stove. Like, it's like, um, it's interesting. It's an interesting take. Um, Thank you for posting that one, Roster. Uh, let's look at this. It's like Daytona actually is a fan of Lana. Who'd have guessed? Just kidding. If you go to his channel, you would have definitely guessed that. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ross, for posting that one. I really didn't realize a song like that would be divisive. No, I guess what they're saying is not so this is PC. I believe it was PC World or PC, one of the PC reviewers, PC gaming company reviews. They were like, listen to the song, it's not that good. So I'm not sure if they're Lana Del Rey fans though, right? Like, Daytona's here. Rouster said it's pretty good. Blanket. Who's Flashlight then? I thought the kid's name was Flashlight. There's some kid named Flashlight. But yeah, blanket makes sense too. It doesn't matter. The emotional impact's the same. Some random household item somebody named their kid after. So again, random household item we named the album after. It's the same theme. Okay. But if y'all want to go listen to it, definitely go listen to it. Flashlight. That's actually a really good song from Parliament Funk, you know. Yeah, I'll leave it like I'll leave it there. Like, that's my era of music, like very much like 60s and 70s. It's like that's basically all I listen to with some 80s mixed in. Um so just so you know. But yeah. On the game it was Life. Yes, Life is Strange. I could not think of the name. I was like Strange. I was thinking Stranger Things. And then I was like Strange Colors. But it wasn't, but it's Life is Strange. Thank you, Reunion. But I still got to finish the one for Fatal Frame 2. And the Pragmata dropping tonight. We're going to talk about Pragmata. We have some stuff about Pragmata. We got a couple of games dropped today. On that one. But Pragmata, I thought, I don't know. When we get to it, we can definitely talk about if y'all are excited about that one. I'm diehard Lana fan. It's like my two worlds colliding: video games and Lana. Also, breakout hit song was called "Video Games." Life is Strange is the goat for real. Tell me, why do y'all like the? Why do y'all like it? Why do you like Life is Strange? So I try to play, and I say try. I was playing. It's called Life is Strange the True Colors one, and I was playing it on Stadia, and then Stadia shut down, and then I just couldn't get into it again. Like, I was like, oh, I want, because I thought it was like really pretty, and there's like a mystery, and I wanted to figure out like the mystery, and so, but I couldn't get back in, so I apologize. Maybe I'll watch someone play it. We're gonna talk about Replaced as well. That's another one. Y'all are all over it today. Have you checked out? I have not. It's on Game Pass. I'm gonna wait because it feels like a game that's gonna come to Switch. I hope it comes to Switch. But Reforge Gaming was demoing it back in January, and it looks a lot like it gave me a similar feel to Deadlight from Tequila Works. Y'all know I love me some Tequila Works. Rest in peace. But Deadlight gave me the same feel as that game, and so it's like, oh, I can't wait. But it's on X. I can't even find my Xboxes right now. Like, I don't know what happened during the water damage. I can't find the Xboxes. They're somewhere. I just don't know where. So I'll wait. I don't like Life is Strange. Oh my goodness, you are about to start a civil war in the chat. Y'all. Because Life is Strange has some good storytelling, but sometimes cringy dialogue, though it's about part of the charm, but usually deals with some serious themes. Yeah, that's what I've been told, and I could tell I was getting into that in the True Colors one. Like, she's coming back. she's meeting her brother, and then her brother, like, dies, and so I was like, "Oh, like, this is gonna I don't yeah, it's gonna be kinda trippy." So, yeah, but if you wanna go check it out, Life is Strange Reunion, Mel's got you covered. Don't worry about losing your Xbox, everything is an Xbox. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I haven't, I'm pretty sure they didn't throw it out. I'm, like, almost positive of that. Um, but it's just, like, I haven't been down there since they've been repairing. Now, they've been doing a lot of drywall stuff, so that's a different story, but, I haven't really been down there. It's just too iconic and factful, I don't care. Yeah, it has some weird moments, but I think it overall is more than makes up for it with the characters, themes, music, and storytelling. Okay, so I see some good storytelling. Like, as a storytelling, like, as a gamer who likes storytelling, it's surprising that I didn't really get into it, but maybe not. Because, like, I remember I got a controller for buying it or pre-ordering it on Stadia. Man, those were the days, yo. Like, we could pre-order a game and get a controller in the mail? That was crazy. Ghostbusters on Xbox. Yes, we are gonna be playing, and that one's crossplay, by the way. So when I get the gaming room set up, we are going to play Ghostbusters, um, Spirits Unleashed. Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. So if you have Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, you can usually find it on a pretty big discount. When I get the gaming room set up, that will become the Saturday stream for a little while, it's like a roguelite, you team up, you go, you shoot up some ghosts, somebody can play as the ghost. It's gonna be fun, it's gonna be epic. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah. True Colors is good as it is. It isn't quite as good as 1 or 2. Oh my goodness, really? That's the one with the brothers? There's one like brothers, and then there's one with like I can't remember. I know I've talked about this. Xbox Xbox International Podcast. How's it going? How's it going? So we will be talking about some Xbox news here too. It make it spicy. We got some Luna news. This one actually came out last week, so I do want to hit on it. Thank you so much, Ambi, for that. You're giving people gifteds out there. Giving some gifteds out there. Thank you so much, Ambi. All right. 2 is the one with brothers. And what is 1? What is 1? All right. Here we go. Here we go. All right. This is a big one now. This is not Amazon Luna. Where's Ron Slusher? This isn't to say Amazon Luna is dead. Okay. This isn't that Luna is dead, but I am gonna be like, it's kind of like all of us, someone when I was in high school, I hope they're okay. We were in like this class, it was like a philosophy class, and it was a kid. Who said that? I remember where it came in the room, but in my mind, I want to say it was someone, but I'm not sure if it was. Anyway, yeah, if you think about it, what is the difference between living and dying? You know what I mean? Because if everybody's going to eventually die, couldn't you say that you're like always somewhat dying? And if you're always like, but if you're alive, aren't you living? So isn't there like a point where you're living and dying become a little bit of the same thing? And so I think we ultimately landed on the idea that dying means you kind of know it becomes real. All right. It becomes real. And so I would say Luna is in that phase where it is dying more than it is living, but it is still living. It is still living. I mean, we've seen this before. Like for us who come from the, y'all are already saying it's dead. Oh my goodness. For us who come from the cloud gaming space, we didn't see this. Like we didn't see this. But this isn't a good look, right? And so let's actually understand what's going on. Ending support for game purchases and subscriptions from third-party stores, and users will be losing streaming access to purchase third-party games in June. So what this actually means, if you've played Luna, um, this really impacts, in my opinion, Ubisoft, right? Because you could actually play your Ubisoft subscription service within the Luna store. So that's actually how a lot of us were able to transfer our Google Ubisoft, um, where we were with Stadia, we were able to get it on Ubisoft Plus, I forget what they call their subscription service, and then play it on Luna. So that's like really cool. And this also impacts um not Steam, the other gaming store, Epic, right? Or no, not Epic. What they have the access to the COG. It's this because you could there was a selection of COG games that you could purchase and play it on Luna. So this is those main two. There may be some other ones. I honestly haven't played Luna in a long time. I wouldn't be surprised if this also impacts, um, if I'm not mistaken, Game Pass and Xbox. So if we go back to the ABK deal, that there was this thing that you were going to be able to play. Um, Game Pass or APK games on Luna. That was one of the concessions that was made. So this is impacting a lot of that. The fact that it's coming across the board makes me think it's being driven more from the Luna side. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw this, I was like, oh, Ubisoft Plus is going to be discontinued because like that's where my mind went. But when I started to see like from all third-party stores and streaming access to purchase third-party games, all of them. This is an Amazon. This is an Amazon thing. I got plenty of free COD games from Amazon Prime. You can still get that. Okay, I'm gonna get some sleep. So, all right, no worries, Mel. See you later. Thanks for coming by. So, this is a Luna thing, and why I think this is happening, and don't get me wrong, I believe when we talk about Xbox, because we are going to be talking about Game Pass, I think this is a trend, and we talked about this last year, particularly. Um, this isn't so much a trend from the idea of like, oh, it's a gaming subscription service that's failed in our traditional narrative of like something failing as much as I believe that is cloud capacity that could be used for something else that is more profitable. That is what I believe is happening here. I believe that's happening across the gaming space, not just cloud gaming. I think this is happening in a lot of spaces, as we've talked about this before, that you have this opportunity cost. Like, do you put your money in cloud gaming that may return 5 cents on the dollar? Or do you put this towards like a telecommunications company that wants some cloud capacity, or potentially you're going to do it for AI that wants some cloud capacity, and those are going to give you 20 cents on the dollar, 30 cents on the dollar. Like that's what I believe is going on here. And we're going to see more of this, like in my opinion. Maybe not at this level because I don't think Luna ever really took off, but I believe at some level. So I'm looking at you, Netflix. Um, Obviously, I'm always worried about GFN. Um, and potentially we're looking at you Game Pass, but we're going to talk about that later when we get to Game Pass. So let's see. Purple is purple's evil side. What? Oh my goodness, what's going on, Louis? What's going on? But seeing how Louis here, let's get this going. Let's get this going. Let's get our big Xbox one out the way, because I don't think it was the main topic we were going to talk about towards the end. But I think right now is a good time to talk about it. Yeah, no, I think Boosteroid, they do some shady stuff. So all bets are off with Boosteroid. But some people like it, and I respect that. All right. So here's the big one. Can Game Pass be saved? Um, Ex PlayStation exec claims prognosis is grim. Now, I will say this: it's an Xbox PlayStation exec. They don't really know what Microsoft is doing, so take that. I would say maybe with more than a grain of salt. What I will say is somewhat of the same forces that are impacting Luna are also impacting Microsoft and Xbox. All right. And if y'all did not know, um, Amazon AWS is the largest cloud provider, right? And so, why is that important? Not really in a gaming sense, but you would say that if the largest cloud provider is starting to feel some pressure on its cloud margins and is looking to raise those margins, you can say the second place cloud provider who's trying to catch up with the first place cloud provider is also feeling said margin pressure. All right. This is actually what I believe is driving, we've talked about this before. The, uh, you know, Xbox has abandoned everything as an Xbox framing, right? We've said that before. They're no longer using this framing. So I believe that is actually a strategic move. I'm not saying that Xbox is necessarily going to go where Luna is right now, not in the near term future, but I am seeing that potentially they're going to probably try to scale back cloud as much as they can to potentially to get to where it's like the most profitable. So there's a point to where everybody's using cloud, but it's marginal returns, right? Like it's actually maybe more of a cost. And yeah, I think they're going to scale that back. When it comes to Game Pass, particularly, and that's not this conversation as much, I believe, and this is going to be something that we hit on again, is it savable? I, I just don't know. I just don't know. Um, and where I come up with that one is, and I've always said this, Phil Spencer back in 2019, if you recall, 2020, it was a mantra. Phil Spencer said, "We want to be the Netflix of gaming." Right? That was what he would say, and he would say it because of Game Pass. I think we can all agree that that's like those are parallel, right? However, Netflix is massive, right? Netflix has a user base that's over 300 million. It's like 10 times as much as Xbox. Also, to stream a TV show is a lot cheaper than just from like a bandwidth perspective than to stream a game. Not that everybody is streaming a video game as much as that they may just be playing it, but the licensing, as we see licensing pressure continue to go up, it's still gonna go up. And the thing that makes Game Pass even more expensive, and we're gonna talk about this here. We're gonna talk about this here. If I have it, if I thought I had it, I thought I had it. Here we go. No, 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 that's not the one. This is the one I want. Oh my goodness. Where's my Xbox? I don't know. I had another one where they were talking about bringing Call of Duty potentially off of Xbox or off of Game Pass. And but yeah, there's a lot of things here. I'm glad I actually brought this one up. Xbox is too expensive. So there's a lot of things that are going on there that they are trying to. Anytime you see this, I don't think they're going to particularly lower the price as much as they're going to supplement it with ads. You are seeing them, in my opinion, really scraping when you start to say, like, we're going to supplement with ads and we're thinking about pulling off certain IP and hey, we're moving away from cloud. Okay, I just now talked to you about lowering cost. I just talked to you about supplementing revenue. And I just talked to you about potentially raising the cost when we think about Call of Duty being a standalone purchase versus being a subscription purchase, right? So that's actually a price raise, a raising of the price. Those three things, they are in full on where can we pull more money from mode. That's where Xbox Game Pass is at. And when you get to this point, I'm not saying some of these things haven't been done before. What I am saying is they are under pressure. Um, Free online downloads. Ding, sounds like y'all made up. Alex, you basically got to do all that free gaming for free. Yeah, we did. Um, so, and I think we have it. Here we are. That's the rumor. So let me actually pull this up like here, and let me pull this up right here. That's the rumor there. Microsoft may remove Call of Duty from Game Pass Day 1 access. Don't worry, Jess Gordon's like a coin flip with his predictions, but that is, as you can see, like I said, they are really pulling everything out to try to make this work. And if they're doing it now, like, right, means that it's probably not as successful as some people would make it out to be. This isn't to say it doesn't make money. I'm saying it's not as successful as it needs to be. And we've talked about this when we looked at the layoffs initially, when we've looked at anything with Xbox, especially when we looked earlier this year at those financials. It's not to say it's not a profitable business. It's to say it's not keeping up with the rest of Microsoft. And that is a problem. If you ask me, I think Game Pass survives in some form, but I also feel like what is it called? Like Game Pass's prime, like the peak of like Game Pass, and it's moving up and people are getting amazing deals from it. You're getting awesome games day and date. Not that you won't, but that it was like repeatedly like an amazing title after an amazing title after amazing title. Um, and there's this hope that it's going to do all these things and it's going to like bring all these players to gaming. That is past. Okay. I don't think that's going to happen. So right now, what I think they're trying to do is get it to a stable place. That is what I'm worried about, is because to get it to the stable place, you're going to have to take away value, losing Call of Duty. You're going to have to like probably have a more compromised product, looking at you ads. And then you're going to have to potentially taking away features or not being as robust with your features. This is where we're saying like everything's in Xbox again, right? After you've already somewhat watered down the brand. I don't know. I don't think this is a leadership problem. I think this is just the reality. Like it's a rock in a hard place. All right, let's see where we are at. You guys let me keep games I bought had from them on sale. Yes, that was amazing. Ubisoft was so cool. We got to keep all our games. We put it on. Yes, so cool. Hot take: Game Pass is a scam. Nightfall, how are you doing? So great to see you. Now, tell me, since I wasn't here for the Stadia era, did they ever have Driver San Francisco available to play on Stadia? It's a Ubisoft racing game. We had the crew. But I don't remember Driver San Francisco. We had access if it was on Ubisoft Plus. I think we had access to it. You would have to ask some of the people. I remember you get like I'm trying to remember. You would have to ask some of the like Ray the Gaming Cyborg was a big Ubisoft Plus user on Stadia, but I cannot remember that particular title. Hey Zalek, what's going on? If you can game for having Game Pass, you actually get stuff in game for. Yes, you do. You do for some. Yes. But Rouster is a big Game Pass player. Simpleton is too. We got a couple of really big Game Pass players here. Again, I'm not talking about the service as far as is it a good service. I'm just talking business. Talk about business. We talk about gaming. A lot of business and gaming stuff happening right now, and all kind of like colliding at the same time. So very, very interesting. Um, so with that, then we can come back to this. Crazy Louis still out there. He's always welcome to chime in. But we're going to come back to this conversation as we start to pivot towards some of the other big things that are going on. But before we do that, let's give some credit to some of the games that are launching today. So this is one of the ones that are launching today. It was actually one of my top 26 for 26. So I'm excited about it. I'll probably pick it up. Maybe we'll play it a little bit on the train. Yes, I'm taking a train this weekend because I love trains. But yeah, here it is. If y'all played it, let me know. If you haven't, let me know if you want to play it. If you and so forth. But I'm excited about showing this one. All right.
Some falls don't begin in the sky. They begin in quiet rooms with friendly voices and fondue bottles. Mine started a few weeks back. The sky was just the exit wound. It began with a call. Routine. Familiar. Wanda from the Mouseburg Herald. Usually she swings by the office with a lead. If it pans out, she hears it first. Simple, really. She gets her story, I get a few bucks to stockpile cheese, and for a moment, Mouseburg gets to breathe easy. But that day was different. She was tight-lipped. Meat on sight, details later. Had to be someone big. Recognizable. The kind that only says, oops, when they remember they're mortal too. Something within me, old instinct maybe, said turn back. Let this one go. That this case was more trouble than it was worth. But, well, trouble is what I do.
Mouse PI. I'm not gonna lie, the only stuff I've seen of this game prior to this trailer, but before it came out, was like it's like this like cartoon like shooter, but it has a story. It's actually got above an 80 with over 50 votes on Metacritic. I know it's Metacritic and it's votes, but y'all know if it's above 75, I think that's a pretty good game. And for a game that 80, I actually think is really good. Like if you're above 80 and you're like doing whatever, that's a pretty good score. And so, what I really like, and I have not played it, so if y'all have played it, please let me know. But the trailer has jazz in it. And you already know we're talking about detectives, we're talking about jazz, we're talking about a mystery. If you're thinking what I'm thinking, if this soundtrack can get anywhere close to LA Noir, right? And if we get a story that's getting kind of close to LA Noir, because just based on what he said, I kind of am interested. Um, this game could surprise and become my 2026 game that most surprised me. Like the trailer has me excited. Very Steamboat Willie, very much so. Yes, it is. I say like, how are you doing? So yeah, so it could makes me think of old style Mickey Mouse. It does, but it has a gun and it's shooting, and there's a story. And so it's not just shooting a story. Um, but it seems like it may have together pretty soon. So if y'all remember, I played Sweet by Carol. That was the one that was done in like the old Technicolor Disney style. Solid game. Gameplay was a little bit more elementary. Story themes were pretty serious, but the gameplay was pretty elementary as well as. So that kind of like took away because it was kind of like just kind of a platform where you're going here and so forth. But it was kind of a cool cartoon style. This one seems like the gameplay is going to be like a little bit more true to the detectives that you're shooting, so it's a little bit different than that. But yeah, I don't know. This might be something I play on the stream. And I saw you, Daytona. Will I do a stream on the train? I don't think it would come through that well. Like, the Amtrak Wi-Fi is always a little if, and you're kinda going to, like, places that you a lot of times, like, the train doesn't have the best Wi-Fi. Like, even if I have my hotspot, like, I'm streaming right now from one of my phones. So, maybe, maybe. I don't know, though. I don't normally like, usually when I'm, like, on a like, I like I trains because I can just, like, zone out, you know what I mean? So, where's the gameplay? We don't have it here. All the other trailers have the gameplay. This one was like I forget what they call these type of trailers where it's like just the story. But if you just look up like Mouse PI gameplay, I'm sure it launched today, right? So it's out there. It's out in the wild. It's officially. It was supposed to launch back in September. There was the other game, something about cheese. There was another game that was kind of also black and white, also somewhat, but it's a much shorter game. And I wouldn't say, I think this one is going to be like a much tighter package. I forget what that was. I forget what that game was called. I forget what it's got. I love LA Noir. I think I remember you saying that, Abby. That's super cool. Mouse PI for Hire is an indie game. Yes, did I not say it's not? The train is good for zoning out. Train vlog, yeah. So yeah, hey, geek, is that a new picture? I can see ya. Bad cheese. There you go. Bad cheese. That was the other one. I think this one's gonna be better, right? Remember, Mouse PI was supposed to come out in September, and then Bad Cheese came out like out of nowhere. And they all were launching around the time that Hollow Knight just was like, yeah, we're launching next week. So that was a really interesting. I think it was early September. That was a really interesting time. Geek, where you at right now? I feel like you're traveling. I feel like you're traveling, Geek. We just showed Mouse PI, so I'm kind of that was kind of a cool little Mouse PI thing. Um, we've already talked a little bit about Xbox and what they're doing and everything. But what we also wanted to do, we talked a little bit about Lana Del Rey. We talked a little bit about everything, but now we're gonna get a little into Disney. What do y'all know about Disney going on? What do y'all know about Disney? So, Disney's removing a bunch of games from the Steam store with no warning. Now, I will be honest, this is also happening somewhere else. And we're going to talk about that pretty soon, right there. Oh, I like that with the Thanos hand. You know, I've never seen that Marvel Avengers. I've never seen like an Avengers movie from start to finish. I've never seen one from start to finish. But I do know that everybody disappears. But I don't know what happens after that. But I know a lot of people disappear. I thought I was a little late. Zayla, we're moving quick. We're moving quick. So yeah, we're moving a lot of games. Rumor is it has to do because they want to do a lot of remakes of these games. A lot of things also has to do with licensing and raising the price of the license. So if y'all remember, linking this back to our Game Pass conversation and how Game Pass, is it going to survive or not? One of the things is licensing. That is licensing across the board. This is happening on streaming services. This is happening on network TV. This is happening in video games. Licensings are going up. Now, what makes me kind of interested about what's going to happen, the snap. Yes, no, ma'am. I was promoted back in January, so I'm currently the shop manager here. And what? Congratulations, Geek. Congratulations. Love to hear people get promoted. Hopefully, you came with a pay raise. Hopefully, you came with a legit pay raise because, sometimes they promote you and they just give you a title. They don't give you the pay. That you may have an employment lawsuit on your hand. Just saying. So, but with that said, if we think about the game licensing and the price of licensing going up, where my mind goes, and I know a lot of people will think about like, okay, this is obviously a corporation. They're going to eventually raise the price of these licenses, or they're going to make a remaster or a remake and force us to buy the game. I also like to think about IP is becoming, if the price of IP is going up, that means legacy IP is starting to get a premium. And is there a chance? And I know I don't have the story here because this is just a fresh thought. So I'm just riffing here. But if we think about a game like a company who sues a lot based upon their IP, looking at you, Nintendo, what happens when we start to see a lot of the Disney, which is probably the biggest multimedia IP holder, when we start to see AI creep in and start to get close enough to their IP, right? We've talked about this before where Sony was going at Tencent. That was back in the fall, all about the Horizon situation there. But what happens now when it starts to happen to like IP as a whole? You know what I mean? We know Disney owns Marvel outside of Spider-Man. So what happens when you start to create like a watered down version of Marvel? Right? And not only like what does it happen when you become like a watered down version, but let's say they create a watered down version that only really suits one out of 100 Marvel fans. Well, you're like, well, Purple, they still have 99 other fans. But yeah, but what happens if someone else then creates another watered down version of Marvel and it's another one out of 100? And if you can see like what starts to happen as IP goes up, and the only people who can start paying for the licenses of IP are actually the companies that have the most money. Looking at you, Apple or Amazon or Netflix, it's only a handful of companies. But at the same time, you have all these independent companies getting close enough to the IP. You know what I mean? What happens then? And I think that's the world we're fast approaching, right? Like Disney is doing it. We're also seeing another company who's doing it. And who is that company? You may ask, who is that company? If you know, you know. If you know, you know. I thought I had it here. If you know, you know. Star Trek Resonance. If you are a Trekkie out there, if you like Star Trek out there, I think you've already heard about this. But Star Trek Resurgence, I said Resonance, Star Trek Resurgence is also getting their license taken away. And if you want to get this game, it was still available on Switch. They say this is one of the best Star Trek games. It actually sticks to the actual Star Trek lore. So if you were like Star Trek, definitely go check it out. But this one's getting pulled from all digital storefronts, right? And who's pulling it? Paramount. All right. Yes, that Paramount, the one who merged with Skydance Media last year and the one who is attempting to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, that Paramount is starting to relook all their licensing deals. And unfortunately, Star Trek Resurgence is caught up in that. So as we start to see these conglomerations really like bringing back their IP, raising the price of the IP, relooking the contracts, and there's only a few, as you raise the price, that means you're actually raising the barriers to entry. What starts to happen then? What will people turn to? And what I think you're going to see, and I would love if Mel was here because he definitely is a big Lord of the Rings fan. Like, what happens when this starts to like, we see this with Lord of the Rings and Amazon, where they don't necessarily take care of the IP, right? So what happens when the biggest players meaning gaming companies, or like big tech companies, technocratic, techno monopoly type of companies, what happens when they are the only ones who can purchase it, but what they're doing, they're not making it niche, right? In order, if you think about Marvel, let's look at Disney. And let's look at Disney and Star Wars, right? Because there was a time where there was like the console wars, but there was the time where there was like Star Trek versus Star Wars, right? Like it was like you're a Star Wars fan or a Trekkie fan. They both sci-fi, both space, but you kind of got the flavor of who was who. And I said Marvel, but in Disney goes and buys Star Wars, right? And the first ones were decent, you know, but then they expand the universe to a point to where it's kind of watered down, right? They've opened it up to a mainstream audience, but what that's done is it's kind of watered down what Star Wars represents, and that's why I think you see so much fragmentation in that community. I'm talking about the diehard community, the original fans of Star Wars. Star Trek still has its niche if you think about it. Stargate, that's a great one. I love the first Stargate, by the first movie was actually one of my favorite movies. Um, but what happens then when you start to see this across the IP, right? Where every big company is like, hey, we're not going to invest in originality. What we're going to invest in is, what we know is already out there, and we're going to try to bring this same experience to a new audience, but they don't do a really good job of it, right? Because in order to do a really good job of it, you have to spend a lot of money for like writers, you have to spend a lot of money on the lore, you have to like there's a way to do it, but you have to invest in it. And at the end of the day, it's really only so good for like the hardcore people. So you're kind of caught in between. Do we give something to the hardcore people or do we give something to the masses? And by the time you give it to the masses, you've just butchered it. So what do the hardcore people go after? Well, they're going to look for something different. And where are they going to look for? Like, what's the easiest way to do that? Well, I think you start to then AI makes it kind of easy. You know what I mean? So that's the question I kind of wanted to bring up with there is with licensing and IP. Does it probably, but Amazon. um, I know, Zalek. I haven't seen you like the show more? I didn't the show definitely has a lot. You're right, the show has a lot, to offer. SG-1, I think that's what the show is called. I should probably watch the show. Um, I've watched some of them, but not to the point where it's like I continually watch the show, you know what I mean? So, um, I think it's an interesting this thing to sit with, and if you my friend Richard, business partner, what he was saying is that this is actually a fundamental stage of something, and this is where the show goes on a deep end. Let me just warn you right now. We are technically kind of hitting this era of late stage capitalism. So I'm not going to probably talk about that too much on this show because there is another video series that I think I'm going to be launching here in the spring, later in the spring, that talks about this. But there is something to be said that if you study economic theory, you study things in the past, you can kind of see where a lot of things are kind of coming together to suggest we are entering this stage, this consolidation around IP, this and who owns it, who can afford it, how easy is it for independents to break through. It might be the feature, not the bug. I'll say it like that. So, more to come on that conversation. Oh, cool, Zalek. Oh, so you're like a Stargate fan. I hate Amazon Luna. There, I said it. We talked about Luna earlier, Ron. We talked about it earlier. And we talked about how Amazon Luna, not dead, but it is definitely, if you think about it, in order to be dying, you have to be living. And if you're living, you're going to eventually die, right? So there is definitely conflict right there. And I would say, I think Luna is closer to dying than living. You know what I mean? Like that's where we're at on Luna. Um, but yeah, that's so to Crow. I think Crow was the one who brought this one, or was the one who brought the Disney side of things up. Um, we there we have it. That's what we're going to talk about on that one. Then the other thing I wanted to talk about. Now this is like totally different, but since we're on Crow for a second, here. Where are you? Where are you? We're going to talk about the other one because I am super, super excited about this one. Diablo 4, Lord of Hatred, Nintendo Switch rating surfaces online. I've already said it. If Nintendo Switch can get Diablo 4 day and date, I have bought this on Xbox. I bought it on PlayStation. I would love to just have it on Nintendo, primarily because Nintendo's multiplayer is so much cheaper than the other ones, and I would like to just have it there. Like I have all my other, Diablo 3 and Diablo 2's games on Switch. But if this is true, I am super excited about this. I am super, super, super excited about this. And what I like that Blizzard does, they have cross save. And look, I'm willing to buy games across platforms because you have cross save. If more games could do this, looking at you, Remnant 2, because I really don't want to restart Remnant 2. But more games could do this, I would actually pay more for the cross save feature. And yeah, so I know Zalik and Rouster have played this a couple of times, and Crow have played this a couple of times. It's coming close. It's coming close. If it does it, I will be joining you all from the Switch 2. But I am super excited. Members only capitalism chit chat stream. Would you want that, Daytona? If y'all want that, we've done that before. Last spring, we talked a lot about tariffs, right? Because like last April, early May, that was a really big topic. Still is a really big topic, but there's just so much else in the world. I just don't know. To be very honest, I think the community, there's like three pieces of the community, like three distinct groups, right? There's one group who I think like enjoys like the somewhat economic world event type of conversations. There's one group who's just like, Purple, I'm just here for gaming. You're talking about things I have no idea what they're about. And then there's another group, which I would say is probably a little bit smaller. And they do actually take a lot of issue with me maybe saying like, well, tariffs don't work, right? Or like saying, don't just believe in billionaires or something. Like there is a certain part of our community that is very allergic to that conversation. And if you don't believe me, just go back and look at the comment section of some of those videos I did. But if y'all are into it, and if there's like enough of a group, like I'm like 10 or 12 people come by, I have no mind. I for sure can do it. Like it's not a big deal. No worries, Rebecca. No worries. Thanks for joining. Bring on the members only streams. I just got this membership from Abby, and I want to put it to use. All right. If y'all, let's see. The members only streams I usually do during the day and the weekend. So I'd have to schedule it with Rouster to see when he would, because Rouster usually streams during the day on the weekend. So maybe I'll do it on a Saturday or a Sunday. And if there is something you want to talk about, that hits into that, Daytona. Put it in Discord. If there's like a conversation that y'all are hitting that y'all are like, I need to talk about this because or you want Purple's take on it, because I do follow like world events quite closely. I do like really closely. So if there is something that you're like, I want to talk about this, but I kind of want it from a gaming esque lens, not just purely like a political like that part of YouTube lens. Usually I can connect most things to gaming, most. Um, but if there is that, put it and we'll definitely maybe have that. When is the next Mario Kart World stream? Oh, Ron. Well, Scott does them on Sundays. Scott just did a Mario Kart World. I was so upset. Like I was trying to get back in time, and they had just finished when I got back. But Scott does them. But I think for Purple, May. Let's aim for mid-May. Mid-May, I think the studio will be back up and running. Mid-May. That's what I'm hoping. But I don't know what. I've not turned on the PC maybe twice to do. I did it once for my taxes and once for something else just to make sure. I've turned on the PC like twice in 4 months. Twice in 4 months. So I'm not even sure if that thing still works. Like, I am kind of nervous. There's a lot of water down there. I am actually really nervous. And they just did all the dust. Oh my goodness. I that thing may not even be working. Everything may not be working. Do we need to debrief the cheese bread combo from last week? Granted. So you know what? Um, Cowboy King of Entertainment, out of all people, came to y'all's defense. He because he watches these on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and he was like, "Purple, haven't you heard of this at the grocery store?" So I was like, "Oh my goodness, whatever, Cowboy." So, but yes, y'all like your cheese, stuffed bread, whatever. As I think I was talking to Wit or Ambi later, they were just like, "Aren't red lobster rolls considered cheese bread?" Like, that was something that came there was actually I received a lot of messages after last week's stream because of the cheese bread conversation. So, yeah, we're gonna leave it there. We're gonna leave it there for today. What are these taxes you speak of? What taxes? Which one? The tariffs? The tariffs? Um, Ron, you were there, Ron, last year. I had 2 streams where I talked about tariffs in gaming, and there were people who traditionally I mean, Jinx. Do y'all remember Jinx? Jinx? Jinx had a lot of, like, emotional responses to some of that stuff, and so I often like, how do I bring around a topic without offending people? Now, there's some people I'm gonna offend. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's some people who will stop watching the channel because they're offended. And, but usually it's like some of these other topics, it's like people have heard about it, but they don't fully have all the context. So I don't want to seem like I'm talking down to them, but at the same time, like other people who are really invested in it, like, how do you merge those two? But if there's an audience who wants to talk about it, and Daytona has said it, put it in the Discord. So Rouster's done this. When we were talking about something and Rouster wanted to talk about, we were talking about like, I think the Warner Brothers Discovery, that whole thing at the same time, the tariff ruling came down from the Supreme Court. And Rouster was like, yeah, that's more important. If there is something like that, definitely. Thank you so much, Audi, for your membership. 10 months there. So Cowboy knew about cheese bread. I think he created a whole he created a video on it, I'm pretty sure. Cowboy has like over thousands of videos. Um, watch it in the future. Oh, Cowboy, so if you didn't see that, Daytona said hello to you for watching in the future. He does watch it, and he'll comment in the chat, or in underneath. He comments as if he's in chat. It's kind of cool to see. But yeah, put it in the Discord if y'all want one of those topics. There's a lot of them to go around. There's a lot of them to go around, and we will do that. We'll make that a members only stream. Or how did we do it before? I think Rouster gave us the idea to do it's open to everybody when I do the live stream, but then we put it behind a members only paywall after the stream. I think that's what we did. So members could get it whenever. So it wasn't like exclusive. So but we'll make it to where members are the ones who can actually recommend. How about that? To give you all something for the 99 cents. We have not done the EA news yet, Rebecca. Last flag sent Ron Susher in here. Hey, Jeff, what's going on? We did talk about Luna, but we have not talked about the EA stuff. But we do have some EA stuff. If I can find it. There are so many things. Like, so what happens is like throughout the week, just like put a whole bunch of stuff in. And then hopefully I can find it when we want to talk about it. I can't see it. I probably should have put it on the right-hand side so I could find it. But let me see. We did have some EA. There we go. So here we go. So if y'all did not see this, Rebecca shared this in Discord. I thought it was really interesting because in this talk, first of all, let me say this first of all. That's true. That's the person on the left-hand side. So what you're seeing right here is a congressman from Florida. He's actually the youngest congressman in the United States House of Representatives. I believe he's 26. I believe he won when he was 26. He's 25 or 26. He's young. He's like a little baby. And he's talking to a sim streamer, or really just a streamer, right? Or no, she's a sim streamer, Simmy Sim. She has over 2 million followers. Okay. She's like huge. And so let me bring it back up. And so what they actually talked about, which I thought was really interesting from a few different points of view. You have an actual sitting member of Congress talking about a video, like not just like having like an actual conversation about a world event, video game event on a streaming channel. And so I thought that was like very interesting from a couple of point of views, because it wasn't like cliche. It wasn't like a gimmick, right? So like last election cycle, you saw a lot of people going to like a lot of like YouTuber podcast channels and sitting down, and they're very polished, and the people got the questions ahead of time. And like, and that's for everybody. Like, but if you don't know, like that, usually those people get the questions ahead of time, and it's all like very scripted. And this guy was just like kind of there. And it just made me think, like, for all that we talk about like gaming as a media, like I talk about as plateaued, right? Like there's not enough money coming into gaming. But gaming as like the actual town square, I thought was very unique. Now, what did they talk about? Well, let me tell you. So what they talked about was the EA deal, Saudi Arabia. And they had some really big concerns about it. And they were asking, like, essentially, you know, could the deal be blocked? What are the avenues? And the guy said, like, hey, you know, there's petitions, there's obviously the FTC, there's all these different things that can happen to try to block it. Like some of the concerns was like having a foreign entity buy an American company. Some of it's the human rights violations of Saudi Arabia, and what does that mean for censorship? So they kind of went through a lot of like actual interesting points. Um, I don't know if any of them actually would be valid. Unfortunately, just because it just seems like shareholders have kind of, I just don't see how they could block it. I just don't see how they could block it. Um, and so I think the biggest thing to prevent the changes from happening that some people are afraid of, and I said this when the deal was announced, the biggest thing is that you don't fix what's not broken. And I think The Sims has a certain model, but I'm not gonna lie, they've hit on this as well. Um, there's gonna be a lot of cost-cutting measures, and I think those are gonna I'm not sure if those hit The Sims as much as maybe some other groups. But we shall see. We shall see. I think this deal is somewhat jogging towards approval and completion. I cannot say the same thing for um, Paramount and the Warner Brothers Discovery deal. I can't say the same thing on that one. But for this one, unfortunately, despite this congressperson talking, I personally don't see it, but let me see what y'all are saying, because I know that may have hit a nerve. That may have hit a nerve. Welcome back, Roster. Yes, Kayla Sims is her name. All right, she's the biggest Sims streamer. Thank you, Rebecca. They were playing Stardew Valley. It was pretty funny. Yeah, it was like a long stream, though. It was like a super long stream. They were talking about precedent to fixing fixing what's not broken relates to the current war. Ooh, yep, Roster, you are. If y'all want to have the conversation, I'll say it like this: if y'all want to we could test it out, because I don't leave until Sunday. So Sunday I travel. But if y'all want a purple shade, right? That's what we call those streams, like where I kind of go in on a topic, and it's a little bit more controversial. Right. And we've done this a couple of times, like for console warning stuff. Mostly we do it for like actual, a little bit more real world stuff. We can do it on Saturday if that is what y'all want. But I gotta see it in Discord. Y'all have to give me a topic. And like I said, it doesn't have to be everybody who comes through. It could just be 5 or 6 of y'all. Like we could just do a stream like that. But let me know. And we'll do it. Let's talk fun. We're not going to talk politics. We will talk about topics. How about that? We'll talk about topics. You know what I mean? Talk about topics that can maybe hit on some political themes. Can I say it like that? Does that make sense? It might need to be members only. That's what Daytona wants. Like I said, if y'all want that, we will do it on Saturday. We'll do it on Saturday, and we'll do it during the day. So, Roster, let me know when Scott's streaming so we can deconflict that. Because I do like the UK people. When we do Saturday streams, we actually get a pretty high turnout because there's a lot of UK people who come by. So we got to see that. All right. You know what? It's time for let's do another trailer. You want to do another trailer? We got a couple of these. So another game that is launching here, and Rouser will be playing this on Game Pass. I'm looking forward to it as well. Here you go. So that is replaced, and if you've heard that it actually has it's really cool, like, the feel of that game. You can actually go demo that game, but it is on PC and Xbox, not on PlayStation, not on Nintendo, so there you go. If you it I definitely think it's worth, like, a Game Pass subscription if you wanted to, like, try that out. Um so that is replaced. I'm excited about it. Like I said, it has like a gritty cyberpunky feel to it, and it I don't know. I just like the side scrollers when they updated like the graphics and the feel of the game, so it doesn't necessarily feel like NES, Super NES type of game. Like it feels like a modern game, just side scrolling. So that is replaced, and I'm looking forward to it. And I saw this. So y'all are saying to do it like a Discord. We can definitely do it like a Discord. The thing why I kinda like doing it this way, like, where I open up the line and y'all can still come on, is because, like, Discord can get kinda hectic, like, from what I but I guess we'll see. If y'all have s if we can test some different formats out to land on what it works, but I maybe there might be a world where we can maybe do both? Let me think through it. That is definitely a very valid point. Very valid point. Um, but in order like, I feel like YouTube, I get because not everybody's on Discord who's comes to the channel. So let me think. Let me see what the topic is. Let me see what the topic is. What is it? We'll see what y'all want to talk about. Good music. Yeah, it actually does have a really good score. It does have a really good score. It's only 20 bucks. Um, then maybe not worth your your Game Pass subscription. Like I said, it looks like something that'll come to the other platforms. I can't find the Xbox right now, so and I don't have time. I don't have time really. On a Discord stage, you can talk and invite speakers to come speak, and other people remain in the audience. Okay. Okay, let me y'all know I don't like Ambi and Rouster run the Discord. Like I have no idea how to run that thing. So let me go talk to them to see how we would get it set up and play through it or talk through it. But if y'all are into it, like if I can get like a solid number of y'all to come through, we'll do it. You know, I these things in the real like outside of gaming, um, I do follow and I have opinions. Let me say it like that. And I ground them. Y'all know how I do it. Like I think y'all see how I come to my opinions. Opinions. All right, let's do. I think I have another. I have another. Um, let's see. Did we do all the thing? Did we do everything? Oh, this one came through. We're not going to show this trailer because I couldn't find one that was shorter than 3 minutes. Although I can only show things that are shorter than 3 minutes on Restream. But this was something. I thought this was kind of cool. So we're gonna like kind of go through these that aren't really related to any bigger themes. But Metro 2039. So this is a sequel to Metro 2033, I believe. Well, it's all like the Metro Redux. It's like three of them. And the only time I had these games was on Stadia. There, I mean, I've talked about Stadia 3 times today, but and they were like $1.49 on Stadia. I was like so excited because we had these search so cheap on Google Stadia. I still think you can get them pretty cheap, but this is like kind of the new chapter of it. And the graphics looked pretty good. It's getting released this winter in 2026, so you don't have to really wait that long. This is a studio that was originally based in Ukraine. So they're also one of those studios that got like kind of disrupted. From what I've seen, it looks pretty cool. First person shooter, which always kind of like, not my favorite thing, but it looks like it has a cool story. I don't know, like I want to get into this more than I've been into it. But yeah, this trailer's out there. Metro 2039. Looks really cool. It's like 6.5 minutes if you want to go check it out. Really, I thought they did a really good job with it. So that is definitely something there. You loved it, Crow. Like, I want it. Like, I've played the beginning of it, and who knows? Is it on Switch? Maybe if it's on Switch, I may give it a run again, or a go. I may give it a go. as they say. It's pretty nifty. It's pretty much the same thing as those Twitter broadcast things that people do, if y'all are familiar with that. I've done one Twitter broadcast. It was roughly a year and a half ago. Um, and yeah, that was the only one I ever did. But I'm mostly on Blue Sky now, which is kind of interesting because Jeff talks to me on both Blue Sky and Twitter. So yes. So there it is. That's that one. Another thing that we were going to talk about really quickly, another game that is releasing. Mel kind of let the cat out of the bag on this one, but it's also looking to do really well. Pragmata, Capcom has been doing a pretty solid job right now, right? Like they launched Resident Evil. Here they are coming up with Pragmata. Now, what I will also say is Capcom. Why I've been focused on Capcom, y'all know Nintendo's like my favorite platform right now, but they've actually been optimizing Nintendo Switch really, really well for their games, like to where it looks super, super nice. This game particularly looks like Death Stranding to me, but the girl is a little bit bigger than the baby. She's older. It's a robot. I get it. It's a robot. It's not a human, but it looks pretty. It looks cool. Like I was listening to the reviews of this game. Um, they're giving it 86. So if Mouse PI got an 81, now y'all know it. Once it gets over 75, I think that's a pretty good game. 86. 86 is usually, in my opinion, you're an underdog to be nominated for Game of the Year. I'm not saying you're Game of the Year. I'm not saying you're a legit contender. You're an underdog to be nominated. So for Capcom to come out with that, I think's pretty good. But y'all would have to tell me the gameplay loop looks pretty interesting. You're pretty much this person, and the girl's like a robot. You have to hack robots while at the same time you're fighting robots. The sound design is pretty interesting. The story is pretty interesting. Overall, I've heard very solid reviews from this. It looks interesting. The girl just kind of freaks me out. Should I get a Blue Sky, y'all? How's it out there? I must just use Instagram, but I don't. So I will say Blue Sky is somewhat not as poppin' as Twitter, but I also think that's because Twitter has a lot more bots. But everything I follow, so all my news articles, The Atlantic, The Economist, New Yorker, Bloomberg, are there. Like it's really easy for me to scroll and see that. And then there's several different content. Like I get all the same gaming news, like all the games I play, like is over there. And Rouster's over there. Marcus G Knight's over there. Jeff is over there. And a few others are over there. And so I'm not really on Twitter anymore, like y'all know. So it's good for me. It does what I need it to do, but again, I'm not really on social media like that. It's a solid new IP. Thank you, Jeff. Jeff played it. Solid new IP. Looks like it's on Nintendo. Yep, it's on Nintendo. Pragmata is on Nintendo. Capcom needs to make another Marvel versus Capcom. I thought they just came out with a Marvel versus Capcom. I thought that was the whole thing. PlayStation 5 sales spiked before the price hike. This is the PS5 Pro. Particularly, I've told you all this. I think the PS5 Pro is, if you don't have a PS5, I thought the PS5 Pro would have been a solid purchase just because of the power of the Pro, but mostly the PSSR to upscaling AI capabilities within the Pro. I think it's going to last a lot. It's going to be a very solid investment over the next 5 to 6 years. I really think chips are going to become much more about what is the AI processing power in the games. And yeah, I think PS5 Pro, if you can get it, I don't care if it's used, I don't care if it's new, I think if you are into console gaming, top graphics, um, that one's gonna probably be your winner. Also, another thing that we got coming in 2026, Plague Tale Resonance. So, Plague Tale nominated for Game of the Year. Plague Tale Requiem, that is, nominated for Game of the Year. I think both of them were nominated for Game of the Year, if I'm not mistaken. On the channel, we played Plague Tale Innocence. I do have Requiem, but I haven't finished it. I kind of don't want to finish it because like, I've seen people play parts of it, and if y'all remember the thumbnail, we made it with Remy, and so it makes me sad. So we'll see, maybe. I'm on Blue Sky if this seals the deal for you. I didn't know Crow, have we talked over there, Crow? If Crow's over there, we're all good. We're all good. Let's do it. We can all be over there. I'm on the yeah, I know Roster's there. So, but and like I said, I like it. I think they do a better job of moderation, and I think they do a better like all the things I need to follow are over there. And there's not really I guess it's just my algorithm on Twitter. There's a lot of random really like toxic console war stuff on Twitter for me. Toxic console war and toxic right, really toxic politics, like that I don't find on Blue Sky. Not that I'm saying Blue Sky is amazing, like, right? Um, but I also don't think I think there's enough variety over there that it suits my needs. Let me say it like that. Yay, Plague Tale. Yeah, I know. So it's coming out. It's coming out. It's coming out. I'm trying to get to the last things. I think trying to get to the last ones. Trying to get to the last ones. Then finally, last but not least, a new Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced releases July 9th. So we were talking about Ubisoft earlier. I really hope Ubisoft can make it through it. And I think that was it, y'all. I mean, we covered a lot today. We covered a lot. We covered Luna. We covered Xbox. We've covered Disney. We've covered Epic. We've covered the Star Trek game that's getting stuff. We've covered Game Pass. We covered a lot of ground. None of them were like huge, in my opinion, but there was some like I think tier 2 stories out there. So yeah, as long as they don't mess it up, Black Flag looks good. I've never played Black Flag. Never played it. Never played it. The first one. Time to race. Okay, I gotta go race with Lens of Truth. Lens of Truth is such a cool guy. All right, we covered Queen Lana. Yeah, we'll end on Queen Lana too. We'll do it just for you, Daytona, before I open up the lines. But there it is, Lana Del Rey. Surprise drops. James Bond 007. Daytona is having a ball. Slaytona, that is. Slaytona is doing amazing. Has Lana Del Rey and gaming coming together. Happy man. Happy man. Happy man. All right, let me do this. And if not, like I said, we could test that. If there's something y'all do want to talk about, we can maybe test out that members kind of conversation. If there's something there, let me put this here. There we go. Let me put this here. There we go. It is springtime here, y'all. So let me tell y'all, a lot of things are blooming out. Oh my goodness, Jesus! I just saw something that did not look good to me. Geez, that does not look good. So we'll see. So who is this? Who is this? Who is this? I just saw something about Lucid that kind of upset me. Audi, what's going on?
Not much.
So you're back in the place with the cool wooden background. You
Yeah.
said you wanted to come on and talk about stuff this week. What
Mhm.
is the stuff you wanted to talk about?
Okay, so first off, have you done more research on the court case of Subnautica 2 and its founders with
I
Crafton?
did some sites. I've like done enough to where well, I know the verdict, and look at
Mhm.
that wearing a wicked
Yes.
hoodie. I just saw
Mhm.
you representing the wicked there. Um, so I know the verdict, right? Because it's over. So
Yeah.
when you say more research, what is the from what angle?
Well, the case is not completely over because there two parts, I believe, to the case, and one is
Okay,
to be decided. They just released the first verdict, which was to reinstate the founder.
correct. It's so he could complete the game.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the second portion
Uh,
is
for compensation and how much that will be and all that.
so I consider that to be so it's an employment case, right?
Mhm.
Wrongful termination case. So to me, like once you reinstated someone, um, you have back pay wages.
Mhm.
And so like to me, that's part of the settlement. That's part of the math. But I'm not uh-oh, I can't hear you. But and so like
Mhm.
that's where I would say to me it's all part of the same deal. But what are you talking about as far like what do you want to know as far as that one goes?
Um, I just wanted to know your viewpoint on it. Like, do you think the judge made a right ruling, like to reinstate the founder?
Yeah, so I think so in order to have like a wrongful term, maybe that's a good place to start because I don't think we've talked about like what you need in IP law and what constitutes like a breaking of the law.
Mhm.
To what constitutes like a and Wit knows exactly where I'm going with this. But in order to constitute a wrongful termination,
Mhm.
right, you have to show that you did something that broke the law. Like, right. So either you there's like something about retaliation that could be there. There's a bunch of different things. Contract stuff could be in there. Discrimination can be in there. Uh, I believe this one was more of a contract situation. And so, like, there is something to be said that I think that they did make, like, if we take it away from the game, like, we just take the game out of it
Yeah.
and we look at it as like a project, and you're going to say, hey, we're going to fire you because you didn't complete said project,
Mhm.
right? But your company also didn't give you the resources that were guaranteed to complete said project, whether
Mhm.
that's headcount, whether that's budget, whether that's clear direction, whatever it is. And you can then say, like, you created a distinctly like you push back on that and they fired you anyway. That's called wrongful termination, right? So I
Yeah.
think that they did get right. And so once you like show that, and in order to get it to that stage, there most likely had to have been a settlement offer. Like the company is going to double down. So something tells me they thought they had a case. But I think that they got it right, in my
Okay.
opinion. I in my opinion, I lean more towards I think the court gets it when they reinstate someone, I think they get it right more times than when they don't reinstate them and they should have reinstated them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think more people are wrongfully terminated that don't get the justice
Then they
than
do.
people who are Yeah, then the ones who get reinstated that
Yeah.
shouldn't have gotten reinstated.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
And another thing, about the EA acquisition.
Saudi
Um,
Arabia, okay.
yeah. I was thinking of, like, different possible ways that it could possibly get, blocked,
Okay.
and like, I see the most like, if it were to happen, the most likely route would probably be through the Commerce Clause.
Okay, say more.
So I forget which section of it, but through an act of Congress, Congress could order through agencies to block the deal with the Commerce Clause if they believe that it interferes with interstate commerce.
Yeah. So the thing about the EA deal
Hmm.
is possible. Like, I'm not going to say no, right? What I'm going to say is you said something really interesting in what you said,
Yeah.
right? And hey, Vet TV, what's going on?
Okay.
Um, you said Congress could do something. And I
Yeah.
don't think Congress is anywhere close. Like, this is not at the point where Congress would even use their political capital here, right?
Hmm.
Like, if Congress is not willing to stop, uh, it, the Constitution delegates the power to declare war
Hmm.
with Congress, right?
Yeah.
And they weren't even able to bring that power back to Congress with a war that was like bordering on potentially nuclear warfare. I'm not necessarily convinced that they're going to then spend their stuff to go after Saudi Arabia, considering Saudi Arabia has done a really good job of um, Saudi Arabia has done we sell billions of dollars of arms to Saudi Arabia. So now for us to then say, "Oh, we're going to try to do something to block it." Well, why are you going to block it runs into this problem where no one takes gaming serious,
Yeah.
right? Like, I think ABK was a great example where I think that was anti-competitive. And everybody was like, "Oh, it's video games, like, who cares?" And so now that we have Saudi Arabia, who we sell literally, like, stealth jets to, and fighters, and Patriot launchers, and arms, and you
Hmm.
name what, for them to say, like, "Oh, well, we're gonna sell Saudi Arabia all these guns and stuff, but we're not gonna sell them this game," I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
That may be a skeptical way of looking at it. It may be
Yeah.
but that's kind of the lens I look at it through.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being skeptical. Uh, it's better to be skeptical than cynical, in my opinion.
Okay. True, true, true. So that's how I feel about that one.
Yeah.
Um, and because it's Saudi Arabia and because the way they've structured the deal with like Silver Lake Capital, Saudi Arabia, and someone like it's a joint venture, like the way they've done it, it's gonna be really hard to block it. As we're like,
Hmm.
I think some of the other mergers we've talked about, primarily Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount, I think there's like you don't need Congress, right? You can actually do the state courts there that can
Yeah.
like ring it up. But even if the FTC was being governed by a more um, stronger prosecutors than what they have now,
Yeah.
still would be a hard stretch for me to see them how like where would they lean on blocking it.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
Vet. Yeah.
have you read any of the Metro books?
I haven't. I haven't. I want to get into it. Like,
Mhm.
there's a couple of franchises that I'm like, "Oh, that would franchise would seem like something where I would like to be in the lore." It has lore, it has a world, it has
Yeah,
something. Metro is probably in the top 3 of those,
yeah,
but tell me more. It seems like you know more about it, like, tell
yeah.
me.
For me, I did not like, Metro, the games,
Ooh.
until I read the book.
Okay, so you think the book should come first, then the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, wow. Is it like a graphic novel or is it like a novel?
It's more like a novel.
Oh, wow. Really? So it's like actually solid.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually good intel there.
Uh,
And so what is
there's
the world like? What like tell me more. Like give me excited about this franchise.
okay, so it all sets place in, a post-apocalyptic, Russia, let's see, it's been a while since I read them,
Okay.
um, or
I know there's like
played the game.
monsters running around.
Yes, those are, mutated humans, from radiation.
Okay.
Um, so basically Russia dropped nukes upon itself, so basically similar plot to Fallout, but, reverse, humans went into the metro system to, survive from the radiation. And then the series is about, trying
That's where
to repopulate
that's what
even.
Crow says. So post-apocalyptic dystopia set in the Moscow subway after World War III.
Yeah, basically
Okay.
that in a
Okay.
nutshell.
All right. So you're saying to I'm there. I'm there. I definitely feel like okay. So the fact that you said there's a story behind like deeper lore, I'm excited about that. Um, and like I said, it's something I've been wanting to get into.
Mhm.
Like I had all 3 of them on Stadia because they were literally like $1.25. It was ridiculously cheap.
Yeah,
And it was one of those things where it's like it was always, the Stadia library had like this
yeah,
huge. So it was always there. And then I've seen it on sale a couple of other places. I just haven't picked it up. So let me maybe I'll get the Audible and listen to it on the train. That might actually be something to do.
yeah,
So maybe let me give it a chance.
yeah. There's, 3 books in the series.
Okay. And then you read it and then you loved it and then you could play the game and you felt more
Yeah,
immersed.
yeah, basically.
So does the game follow like a similar does it follow the same storyline or is it just the same world?
It follows the same storyline unless you play the VR game, then that set place before the first book.
Okay. So if I read the book, is it gonna ruin the game?
Um, Not really. I didn't find that it ruined the game for me.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I'll give it a shot. Like I said, Metro, Cyberpunk, there's like one other one where it's like I wanted it's like they created a world. There's other media for me to like get into that world. So I can't remember what the third one is, but there's like three franchises that I've not really got into the game, but I want to get into the game.
Yeah. Um, let's
What are books? Hey Cherry Man, what's going on?
yes.
Um, yeah, so definitely.
So, ano speaking of books, I've been writing a novel.
Oh, nice. What genre? Tell me your
R
genre.
romance.
Romance. Okay.
Yeah.
And is this a modern romance, historical fiction, sci-fi, romantasy? Because Zalic loves a romantasy. Uh,
It's a modern.
Modern romance. Okay. Um, Let me see what other. And is it more like a what type of romance? Is this a comedy? Is this a dramatic one? Is
Um,
this yeah.
it is more of a comedy one
Okay.
with some drama.
Of course, it's a romance. It has to have some drama, but it's more
Yeah,
it's more lighthearted.
yeah.
Okay. So it's more lighthearted. You're writing the novel. Now, have you thought
Mhm.
about are you trying to do like traditional publishing or indie publishing?
Um, well, for that, I am using this service called, Web Novel, if you've heard of it.
So you're doing a isn't web novel a hybrid?
Uh, tech Technically, you, publish it yourself, but,
Yes.
um, Web Novel just hosts, the novel on it.
Sure. So it's a self-publisher. You're showing
Yeah.
like the indie
Yeah,
self-publishing
yeah.
route. And that's why I said, but web novel. Now, correct me if web novel doesn't give you an opportunity, or can you, if you wanted to? Because I know there's some platforms that if you host it there, which I'm pretty sure web novel, you could probably do it now that I think about it, that you could get it printed out yourself. Like you could actually create your own cover and do stuff like that. Or is it just going to be the
Um,
digital?
you There are options to, get it printed out, for them, if it
Okay.
reached a
Cool, cool.
certain amount of popularity. They'll help you with
Okay,
that.
okay. Okay, cool. Well, I'm excited for you.
It's
I'm excited,
called,
like
Unsweden.
unswayed spell it?
Let's Uncweden. It's, a old English word meaning unspoken.
Unspoken.
Yeah,
But it's unswayed.
yeah,
It's very like okay, okay. And it sounds more dramatic than comical,
yeah.
but let us know when you self-publish.
Okay.
Save the promise. Save the drama for your mama. Ron. Ron, the author Dmitry Glukovsky is currently in exile in Europe after Russia's attack on Ukraine. He was declared wanted by the Russian authorities for writing newspaper columns critical of Putin. Now, initially, when I first read that, Crow, and did y'all like my pronunciation there, my Russian pronunciation? Um, but I initially was reading that thinking you were talking about the world, like inside the Metro game, until I saw you said critical of Putin. And I was like, oh, that's a real world thing. That's a real
Yeah.
world thing. Real world thing. Um, so yes, well done. I thank you. I thought that was good. I thought,
Yeah.
there was a
Yeah.
back in my day in the
I
military,
think
there
it
was a
was
Cold
a,
War.
good pronunciation.
Thank you. Um, yeah, he's a real author. Yeah. Um, but yeah. So okay, okay. I do like Ariana Grande's music. Question to Audi.
Do Not really, no.
He's not an Ariana Grande fan. Now, I does this have to do with anything because she licked donuts? Because I know people who have really strong
What?
feelings. Ariana Grande, right? She like went into like a restaurant and she licked like some donuts or something and put them back. This was like 8 years ago. This was like a while ago.
Okay, yeah.
This is like a while ago. And a lot of people don't like Ariana Grande for that. Okay, noted.
Hmm.
Is that the reference to Audi's shirt? Audi's shirt, it could be, because it is a Wicked, hoodie.
True. I don't
So,
watch, Wicked for Ariana Grande.
who do you watch Wicked for?
Um, I forget his name, but the guy who plays the wizard.
I've not watched the thing. So Audi, so you watch it for him, and why do you watch it for him?
just because I like, some of his other works.
Who is this one? Um, Ethan Slater or Jonathan Bailey? Which one?
Let's see.
No, Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum is the wizard.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jeff Goldblum, so Jurassic Park, cool. Donuts in the chat for Ariana. What? Donuts in the chat, that's funny. But yeah, she did like all them donuts. Yeah, it was like 10 years ago. It was a while ago. It's like 10, 11 years ago. And people had like a really like freak out with her when she did that. But she was like a kid. And so like everybody's like, I don't know, it's like a big thing between Ariana Grande and I think it was Katy Perry. I
Mhm.
think those two fandoms were like going at each other. And or no, was it those two? It was like that whole era of Ariana Grande, Katy Perry,
Yeah. And my
Kesha,
yeah, Kesha, I
um,
want to say Miley Cyrus, kind of.
could be Miley, and there was another one,
I think
Selena
in that
Gomez,
era I
like
think in
Selena
that,
Gomez, like all of
uh,
them.
era, I was more of a Miley Cyrus fan, if anything.
Miley Cyrus, oh my goodness. See, I was like, this is like, it's kind of weird because I don't really know music,
Mhm.
but I know like when people like I know fandoms.
Yeah.
Like I know people who like have like a lot of passion about certain artists.
Yeah.
And so but it was like yeah, that whole group of to and some of y'all may be like no purple this you just spanned like 10 years. To me that's all the same.
Yeah.
Like to me it's all the same. Like I
I've
like it's all a blur.
I've learned, a
Sorry to
lot
interrupt
about,
you.
music from digital extremes.
Really?
Yeah. People
Ah,
people often say that, Digital Extremes is a music company with a video game attached. I've seen
interesting.
I've seen that a lot.
Interesting. Yeah, I just don't have any I don't have any reason to see Daytona. Katy Perry's actually in hot water right now. People have been coming forward with serious inappropriate allegations against her. She starts saying she has a long history of this. What are the allegations? I don't know. Like I
Yeah.
don't know that um she doesn't hit my radar like
Yeah.
as much in my circles. But
For
what are the allegations? Is this like a sexual harassment? Because if it's a male pop star, usually it involves sexual harassment.
yeah.
Female pop stars usually are about racism
Mhm.
or harassment, but not sexual harassment.
Yeah. Uh,
Sexual assault.
oh.
Sexual assault.
Hmm. That's not something that you see often.
Interesting. Not that I'm not someone who does not believe that women
Yeah.
cannot sexually assault people. I
Yeah.
actually think, um,
I
there's a
I think
lot more sexual assault from women than gets
yeah,
reported, but
because there just isn't, really resources to report on it.
not
That's why.
resources. I think a lot of
Well
victims feel, there's still a
well,
stigma
yeah,
with victims.
stigma, that's what I meant,
Yeah, so that I did not know. She's the one that's on a wrecking ball, right? That's Katy Perry? Or is that not Katy Perry's not the wrecking ball one.
I think that's Miley.
Oh, my okay, is she the one with, like, the Egyptian pharaohs and they have, like, laser I know music videos. Is she the one with the
Yeah.
laser eyes in the video and it's like a pharaoh? And it's like and they're blowing things up? Like, I know music videos, so if y'all tell me So she's not the wrecking ball one. Is she the pharaoh one?
I think, uh
That's my. So she is she the
Oh.
pharaoh one? Katie's the Egyptian one. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I
okay,
thought
yep.
I got. Okay. I was 50. I was. I got it. I got
I
it
was
there eventually.
Googling it.
She's the Egyptian one. Okay. Um. Yeah. So I kind of know it with the. I think. Yeah, I can't tell. It's interesting how we went from Ariana Grande to sexual assault. Yeah, Dark Horse. Oh, I knew. Wait, you got me. You got me in clutch there, wait, because I was like, I'm struggling on this one. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, because there's like they're carrying it up and they keep coming to like the princess or whatever, and she has these eyes and they keep blowing up people, all like these princes and stuff.
Uh,
Um
Ka Katy Perry, she did a Roar, which was her
Roar,
and the ju
what does it sound what does that one sound like?
uh, it was her in a jungle,
I don't know this one. This is too
it's
deep. Y'all are getting me. Roar? I don't know. I don't know. I know certain songs, but I
yeah,
cannot place them. Um, but yeah. Okay. It's Katie. It's Katy Perry. Like, I think I recognize the name more than I recognize the music.
yeah.
Hey, Lotus, what's going on?
Like, for me in
Welcome.
music, nowadays I mainly just listen to, One OK Rock, if you've heard of them.
One OK Rock. I have not. I have not. We're talking all about Ariana Grande and Katy Perry and a lot of other female pop stars. But One OK Rock, no, I haven't heard of them.
Okay.
Unless it's like disco or classic rock, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
anything. But thank you so much. Lotus, thank you for that. You had to do that. You did not have to. I think California Girls and Haley's in Hawaii by Katy Perry. Other than that, our music is whatever. I don't even know the ones you just said. I don't even know what you just said. But thank you. Lotus, are you from Mexico? I did not know. Is Lotus from Mexico? I didn't know that. Or what's the MX mean, Lotus? Sub high. I know. Great vibes. Thank you for this. Lotus and Andy coming through today. Howdy. Thank you for being a 10-month member as well.
yep, yep.
Um, but Lotus coming through in the clutch. Uh but yeah, okay. Okay, so I did not know Katy Perry was that's sort of the allegation. So maybe that'll be in the new like we'll see. We'll see. Maybe that'll be a members only stream. So just so you're if you're coming in, Lotus, we are thinking about doing members only Discord streams. Or I don't even know if it's called a Discord stream. Members, but where we talk a little bit more about current events. Let's call it like that. Current events that may be a little bit more touchy. From Spain, now in Mexico. What part of Mexico? What part of Mexico? I'm looking at buying. My mom and I are looking at buying property in Puerto Vallarta. Uh, so what part? I'd be curious. Mexico is such a beautiful. I had a whole stream about a year and a half ago talking about how beautiful I think how underrated Mexico is
Yeah.
just in general. Yucatan, okay. Good evidence. All right. A little further down. Okay, okay, okay.
So, an
Cool, cool, cool.
another
What takes you? Why?
game.
Why?
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask because
Okay.
we never really get to. Lotus comes in and like hops back out, and so I'm just curious, like, what took you from Spain to Mexico, if you don't mind? Lotus is cool people, but go ahead, Audi.
So another game that I was on my watch list, came out today, called Cthulhu of the Cosmic Abyss. If you heard of that.
Let, let me see. I may actually have that. Uh, I may actually have that. I don't have that, but I do have other games, but I don't have that one. All right, tell me more about Cthulhu.
Okay, so it's a game. It's a survival horror sci-fi game set underwater. Basically, a research station went dark, and you were sent to investigate it.
I
And
I'm already gonna tell you, like, I know enough
mhm.
through number of either movies or random podcasts that going in water in darkness to rescue something,
Yeah,
bad idea.
yeah,
Okay, like there's nothing positive that comes from going into the water in darkness to rescue. You might as well just say they're
they're dead.
lost.
Yeah,
Okay, they're done. It's done.
yeah.
Like we're not getting them back. Like purple's not going down there. Um,
I might,
you
but
know,
I
like
won't be
that's my thing.
returning.
Mr. Ballin is a podcast show I watch. Mr. Ballin and all the other things. So, all right, so this game that I'm not because I already know it's gonna happen. I think so. There's drama down there. We go down there. What are we doing? So, what are we doing down there at Audi? This game that just came out.
Um, so from what I've seen of the trailer, you are sent to recover the research uh of what the researchers were researching, which I am guessing is something in, retaining to Cthulhu, or maybe
Okay.
Cthulhu itself.
Oh, my god. Okay. And oh, Lotus said Spain to England to Lotus, do you ever want to come on a show to tell us your story? I like England. But all right. So Cthulhu. So did you buy this game, Audi?
I'm thinking about it.
Audi? Am I frozen?
Uh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but
Okay.
I think I'm coming in bad. I think I might be coming in bad. So
Uh,
let
I
me
can
fix my stuff.
I can hear you fine. Um,
Okay. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
okay. Yeah, but I'm thinking about this one. I would have to watch
Okay.
like the first hour of gameplay and then make a decision
Okay.
based based on what I see of it.
Hey, SPG coming through. Hey, SPG, what's going on? We're just talking to Audi here. We're talking about a couple of things. We're talking about Cthulhu the game. Audi's telling us to go look at it. We also talked about Katy Perry a little bit and allegations, which was a surprise to us. And we started off with Audi on EA, and Audi backed me up. We did one more topic. Oh, Subnautica.
Subnautica
There we,
and then
there we go.
Metro.
Metro. There we go.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's where we've been. But how you been, SPG? How's the one in the oven?
Mhm.
If y'all did not know, SPG and Miss Sierra Rose are expecting a little one that they conceived in the mountains of West Virginia, out of all places.
So
Um, doing well, SPG.
so
Go ahead,
a
Ali.
new Little Nightmares game is coming out next week. The VR one,
Which one?
if Little
Oh, the
Nightmares,
VR
Altered
one.
Echoes.
Interesting. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my goodness, should I get it?
Yeah. I well, it's single player, so I think if you have a VR headset,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness, I want go ahead. I mean, I have a PSVR 2. Yeah,
Mhm.
and that would require me to find the PlayStation, which I have no idea where that is. I have no idea
Yeah.
where the PlayStation is. So yeah, maybe I have
I'm
an
gonna
opinion on
give it a
this one, but
try,
what do you all think?
'cause I
Oh,
do
okay,
like
so
VR
howdy, we
games.
have an opinion. We have this one. All right, but we have a question here. We have a question here. Um, what do we think about Disney maybe buying Epic Games?
Oh, that one. I don't think it is likely.
You
Um,
don't think it's likely?
no. And the reason for that is because,
So I would say this. I would go ahead.
I know you go ahead.
Okay. So I would say I actually think they are going to go for it.
Mhm.
I actually do. And not because of games, because of the engine.
Yeah.
That's why. Um I think it would be a situation in which they would buy them, spin them off, and in like when you start seeing stuff like this, like we didn't talk about this, but when you start seeing stuff like this, Epic head of HR is out less than a month after 1,000 plus layoffs, right? 1,000 layoffs. Okay, that's not a small number. Um, when you start to see when I see these huge numbers, um, you see Disney's firing a lot of people. Like, I'm starting to feel it seems like they are not related, right? But I could see it happening because
Yeah.
let's make it very clear. Unreal Engine, we talked about this from the Unreal Engine 4 to 5, particularly Ryzac. That Unreal Engine 5 is more like a movie engine, right?
Yeah.
And I could see the investment, especially if they buy it and spin it out. Because now you're gonna like it's not like a fully $10 billion or whatever. And with Epic not doing as well, like we talked about the Fortnite maker about 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I could see it happening. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I could see it happening.
I mean, I think
Yeah, it's all about Unreal Engine.
that Disney will make the offer, but I don't think Epic will accept the offer. The rea
We could see. I mean, go ahead.
the reason for that is because the CEO of Epic, he has notoriously been protective over the intellectual property of Epic Games, including and Epic and Disney on exclusivity and all that. Their viewpoints don't really align because Disney wants everything to be within Disney's own bubble, while Epic primarily wants things to be in multiple places.
Yeah, like that's why I say I don't think Disney wants it for Fortnite. I don't think they
Mhm.
want it from a gameplay. Like, so I guess that's where I come from. Is that from more like what are the assets that Disney could use to either cut costs or raise revenue? And from that perspective, I don't think it's game like games are expensive. And what I mean by that is that if we look at the gaming landscape right now. The biggest game makers are struggling, right? We have Epic struggling, we have Xbox struggling, we have numerous game closures, EA struggling. We have some of the biggest game makers struggling. So, like when you're talking about a business buying a game, I don't think it has anything to do with games.
Yeah.
Like I think smaller game companies can make it work. So once
Mhm.
gaming gets to a certain scale, it doesn't the economics don't work.
Yeah.
But if you go back, maybe been 2 years ago now. If you go back roughly 2 years ago, there was talks about this licensing agreement between Disney and Unreal. And if y'all go back, you'll see this. Like Unreal was raising money through Epic was raising money as licensing it to Disney. And if we start to now play with a world where AI is coming through, right? Because we've seen OpenAI in Disney create a licensing agreement, right? We see a world where we see more movie properties using like these game engines. Like there was I think it was a Transformers movie. There was some trailer that was done on Unreal inside of a game. I can't remember, but I remember looking at this trailer. And we look at the ever pressing world of cost. Yes, can AI make movies? Yes, like a 6-second movie. Absolutely. Midsummer, Gemini, you can do it, blah, blah, blah. But the problem
Yeah.
is you need a game engine in the cloud.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say like Disney's bread and butter is in video games. So I don't think it has anything to do with that. Like sure,
Yeah.
maybe they put Mickey in Fortnite, but that's not the play. It has to
Yeah.
be something more central to Disney's identity, and
Yeah.
that one makes sense to me.
And, like, if anything, I
And let's
see,
Epic keep the games next to you.
Epic would, allow Disney to acquire just the rights to, the part of the engine that is for filmmaking, but not acquiring them as a whole
So
company.
what Disney would probably do, Disney would probably I think there's a couple of ways this could happen. Okay, this is not insider information.
Yeah.
This is just me thinking based upon a rumor. And if I was looking at Disney and talking to them, they could do it a couple of ways, right? Because who owns Epic, right? That's the other
Uh,
question you have to
it's
ask. Who
him.
actually owns Epic?
It's the CEO of Epic.
Tim Sweeney?
Yeah, he owns it.
Let's see. Wait, are you sure about that? Are you sure who's the majority owner of Epic?
Yep.
Yeah, so
Paramount.
Tim, you're right. He's over 50%. Disney already owns 10%, right? So Tencent owns 40%, right? So that's kind of where we're at right now. So if I was looking at this from a business standpoint, what we could technically see is Disney increase their stake in Epic. That's one thing they could do, right? So we saw this similar to what Ubisoft eventually has been doing with Tencent, right? Tencent, you start to become like the Guillermo family is still the majority stakeholder, but Tencent is like the second biggest stakeholder. So you can see it that way because you have so many different entities in who own it right now. I saw Sony, I saw Disney, I saw Tencent. Epic is low on money. They just cut 1,000 people. Here's what I honestly think is going to happen. I think Tim Sweeney is going to sell more of his stake in Epic. I think he has to raise capital. I think he's cutting cost. and he needs some money. And so I think he's already sold 40% to Tencent, so they are somewhat tapped out. I don't see Sony necessarily tipping in as much, but I could see Disney if Tencent wanted to sell some of their stake or Tim wanted to sell some of theirs, upping their stake to 20% of Epic.
I mean, it's also possible that the
That's how
Lego
I think
Group
it that's how I think.
gets more of the stake as well.
They could, but that question was around Disney.
Yeah,
Like I just I think that's where I don't think a buyout would happen just because I see Tencent with 40%. So that
yeah,
kind of makes me question a full-on buyout, but 20% and then some they now have some other royalty situation. So I think it's a raising of capital.
yeah.
And why would Disney buy Epic for their game when they just shut down the entire Disney home entertainment division? Great point, Bet. Um,
I
Even if
mean,
Disney makes it hard to buy Epic, it will never pass through the FCC.
it
Disney buying Epic, why wouldn't it pass through the FCC?
they're two different industries, so there wouldn't be any
Yeah.
overlap.
Yeah, why
Unless if
wouldn't it
they
pass the
put it
FCC?
through Lucasfilm Games, which Disney still is, well, that is still active with them, Disney, then that would cause
But I
some
want to know why
overlap.
the FCC. I want to know why you're saying the FCC though.
Oh yeah, FCC. That would not make sense unless if they were
Like,
broadcasting
why
it.
would it? Why would the? Yeah, why are you saying the FCC?
Yeah, the
Um,
FTC would have a say in it,
like,
but
like
not the
yeah, the
FCC.
FTC. Um, and if it was the FTC, I actually don't. I think they would. This
Yeah,
FTC is the most corrupt FTC I've ever seen.
yeah,
So if you're gonna say that, no, it's 100% what happened.
yeah,
Yeah, maybe that one, girl. Like maybe, but
yeah.
yeah, it's easy. You could easily see, but again, I don't think the FTC would have what grounds would they say it's anti-consumer? It's totally different. Like Disney doesn't own like a gaming division. Um, they own it, and like there's the overlap. I was just typing the
The
same thing you said with anything goes. Yeah,
the
they
well,
are. They're like I. This is it's corruption at the highest level, and I don't
yeah,
mean that from a political standpoint. I mean that from the pure definition of the word corruption.
yeah,
Um, I think that anytime you have government official, it's grossly corrupt, and I don't mean like, well, each side does it. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that today. I am doing that from the simple fact of it's out. It's out in the open. If you
mhm,
want to get through, you give a kickback to a government if that is pure corruption. And
mhm,
just like what's happened in Hungary, where if y'all have not been tracking that, Viktor Orban, the former Hungarian president, has been not elected to repeat, and the new government is investigating him for corruption. I believe that's what entire 2029, 2030 is going to be. And it's not going to be like this stupid uh, Hunter Biden laptop shit. Like I'm talking like actual investigation of corruption.
yeah.
All right, enough. Go ahead, Audi.
Okay, so I mean, the closest thing that Disney owns to a gaming division is Lucasfilm Games, but that's just to hold their
Correct.
previous IP. That's the only purpose they have that. It's their previous games.
Yeah, I like I said, I don't think After looking at their stakeholders, like, I think it's just an increase. I don't think it's a
Yeah.
full-blown buyout. Like, I think it's just an increase in stake, and, I love what this Daytona said, "The FDA will never allow the buyout." Oh, the shade from Slaytona, the shade. But, that was funny. That was funny. Um, but yeah, I was like, but, so yeah, so either way, Disney, I think we're all in agree if it happens, if it happens, I just why I thought they would invest more in it, that's all.
So, so a
But Disney has their own.
major PlayStation game is coming out this month as well. Soros.
Which one?
Soros.
Soros, yes, Soros is coming out this month, great call, and, it's looking like it's doing decent. I'm waiting for the scores to come out. I did not play Returnal,
Mhm.
but just listening to the gameplay loop of Returnal, I don't think I would like it. So they said if you don't like Returnal, you should like this one. So I'm basing this based upon a description of what people say Returnal is, and the fact that I like third person, like looter shooters, like I like that. So again, I'm interested in it. I don't know if it's going to be a day and date buy for me. It really depends on like if people come out for Soros like they did for what was that stupid game? The one that won indie game of the year last year that Expedition 33. I know y'all like it. It's not
Expedition.
stupid. I
No,
get it. But
it's
if it
it
gets
is.
that type of like
It's stupid.
momentum,
Yeah.
if it gets that type of momentum, I'll buy it. But I
Yeah.
think at the moment I'm a little bit I'm excited for the Yoshi game. Let's say that. I'm excited for the
Yeah.
Yoshi game.
I don't think it will be a day and date buy. Um
Which
Mainly
one? You for
because
you? Soros?
it, yeah, for Soros. Mainly because the the only game I like in the shooter category is Warframe. Any other
Warframe.
yeah,
Interesting.
that's the only game that I've actually liked from that category. Oh, purple? Why purple? Hello?
There we are. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. I had to change my my connection. I was getting like I've been like over the last 10 minutes, something was happening. So I switched it. There we go.
Okay.
There we are. We're back. We're back. And now I can hear you a lot better. It's the Audi show now. I came back. I came back. I came back. So what were you saying? Sorry, you were getting chopped up
So
on.
let's see. Let me rewind my head. Um, so Warframe, that's the only other looter shooter game that I've really tried and I like. Uh, the gameplay and the story behind it, because
Well,
I think
Audi
about
liking Warframe. Who would have
yeah,
guessed?
who I guess, but who knows? I might like it because it's also a roguelike.
Which one? Soros?
Yeah, Soros.
I mean, like I said, I like looter shooters, but I mean, I say I like looter shooters. I like Outriders. Let me be very
Mhm.
honest.
I did like
And
Outriders.
yeah, so I like Outriders, and I
I
saw the
forgot about that
game.
game, though.
Oh, you could never forget about it. But I like that one, and when I look at Soros, I'm kinda just like, "It looks cool. It looks cool." But again, I'm gonna have to see a little bit more, like, if people are like, "Oh, this is like a" I'll know the buzz. I'll know the buzz.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't even have to be, like, game of the year buzz, but I'll know There's a guy that I watch. His name is Buzz Light. What is this? Light Beer. Buzz Light Beer.
Mhm.
And he does, and I've been watching him since Stadia Outriders. Like, I've been watching this guy for a long time. And like he had like 20,000 subs, and now he's like over like 200,000. So it's kind of cool to see his channel grow. He has a really good feel for third party or third person looter shooters.
Mhm.
So that's the one that I may, depending on how he talks about it, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, you watch Buzz's Velcro? Like, yeah, I like his I think he does a good job. Like, I think he does a very like he's fair. He gets on them when he does. Uh and he like I don't play Starfield, but he likes Starfield a lot. But like there
Mhm.
are a couple of like I think he did a good job. So we'll see how he picks up on this one.
Uh, and I do have some thoughts about, Game Pass and what
Okay.
they're doing with it.
So so we did talk about it, right? We did talk about that one. We did talk
Ye
about it. But go ahead.
I I think the prospect of, um, Game Pass, I think it's gonna go through a major, restructuring. It's
Yes.
not gonna go away, but the Game Pass that we see now will not exist in the future.
Yeah, I would agree with that, right? Like, I think that's why I said to me, Game Pass of like the heyday of Game Pass, like where you get it, it's like $15 or 10, or whatever the price was, and you get amazing, like you're getting Game of the Year contenders, like you're getting a lot of stuff in that, and then you have hope of what it's about to become. Like you think it's going to be this powerhouse of like game anywhere you want. Like it'll play like
Yeah,
Stadia, but better. It'll play like GFN, but with Stadia's like interface smoothness, like that I don't think is gonna happen.
yeah,
Um, and as I said before, when you have to like from a business standpoint, cut costs, raise revenue, um, and just basically try to become more profitable. A lot of times you focus on like one of those things. They're doing all of them, right?
yeah,
They are looking at raising revenue through ad revenue,
yeah,
right? They're looking at cutting costs through potentially limiting some of the IP and the licensing, as well as they're not putting it like they're not really advertising cloud everywhere. Like everything's in Xbox. So I don't think they want people streaming as much. And then when you think about them taking away Call of Duty, this is actually to raise like right. You pay Call of Duty $30 or you can buy it for 70 or 80. Of course it's cheaper to
yeah,
buy it for 70 or 80. So I mean it's more expensive to buy it for 70 or it's cheaper to do the other thing. So yeah, I think all of that to me tells me that Game Pass is definitely in a world of restructuring. I think that's a
yeah.
great call out. And ultimately, my
I
if I putting on my conspiracy hat, 4 to 5 years from now, I believe Microsoft is going to spin out Xbox.
Mhm,
That's what I would. That's the smart move to me for them to
yeah.
make.
I think, from what they're gonna do with Game Pass is I don't know if you remember this, but Redbox basically adopt that, but for Game Pass. So rent a game through a monthly service instead, and then that game just goes away after you try it, like, once or twice, or after you reach a certain amount of time.
So if they were to go down, this is interesting you bringing this up because this is actually what Stadia was, right? So Stadia towards
Mhm.
the end had, if you were a Stadia Pro member, correct, y'all Stadia people, I think Crow's the only like longtime Stadia person in the chat. Stadia Pro, you had an opportunity there where you could demo game, like they had all the games you could demo, and then they opened it up to everybody. Um, if that's where they're going, is that a sustainable service? Is that is there enough people coming through Game Pass paying for it to just demo it? Um,
I
is
mean,
it was Blockbuster renting is overrated. Yeah, here's the I'd love for you to Audi to respond to this idea about renting is overrated because I actually think there's something more difficult with renting is overrated. Audi, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
30s?
30s. Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of were a teenager with Blockbuster, like you still
Mhm.
remember Blockbuster, right?
Yeah.
You remember Redbox. You remember subscription service of getting Netflix when it was mailed to you. Like you have that memory.
Mhm.
If you go, I think, to Daytona, his age group, right? Because Daytona is like 22. And if we think about the main gamers, right? Like the gamers between the ages of 15 and 30, right? That's like supposedly like the people with the most time, the most money. It's like the sweet spot. You have time, you don't have family, and you have nothing to really spend on but games.
Mhm.
That demographic didn't grow up renting.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a reason why when Cowboy comes on, what does he always talk about? Gamefly, right? He has
Yeah.
a subscription service, he rents a game, he sends it back. That's because Cowboy's like that's an ingrained habit.
Uh,
There's comfort level with
yeah.
that. But younger people, and I mean this from like the people like 20, 25 years younger, like that generation, they've always had things for free. They've had streaming. They've had like they play like the newer gamers now play Roblox. Like they're used to playing like here's where I think, and this is actually going to be in a video I'm going to make later on about gaming and what Game Pass is going up against. I think the era of like traditional gaming is a niche thing.
Mhm.
We've talked about this. Like, y'all are getting, if you're on this channel right now, you're about to get like a sneak peek into like Q2 purple shade thought right now. We've talked about the idea that the world's becoming more expensive. People are getting paid more. Late stage capitalism, right? Like that's an idea.
Yeah.
You can disagree or not, but or agree. Like in that world, people are more desperate to make money, right? So if you take this idea about gaming, making money, people are used to doing things for free. You start to get into a world, or they have a little bit of money. What do people who have a little bit of money, desperate to make money, and have time? If you put all of those things together, and
Mhm.
you see this in a lot of like South Asia, you see this in like the Central South America. If you put that together, what you actually get is a very dangerous behavioral loop of gambling. And because we're now seeing like things like poly markets, we're seeing gaming, like this is why everybody who would be like, oh, cloud gaming would blow up in India. If we get Game Pass in India, it's gonna do it. No, like
Yeah.
India's already hooked on gambling.
Yeah.
Philippines are already hooked on gambling. All these people are hooked, and they're getting around these rules through crypto. Like you can't like there's a whole market out there that you're seeing the same dopamine that gaming gave you, but you're adding on this idea that you could make it big, which has always plagued the human experience. And you're doing it in a way that could be somewhat entertaining. I would have to think this is why I don't think at the end of the day, something like Game Pass can survive. Is because you're getting squeezed from not only the infrastructure side of things, you're getting squeezed not only from because the traditional gamer is more likely to just buy it, but you're getting squeezed because gaming behavior is changing to some what is free or needs very little money, but I can make money. Like that's where we're going, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And,
I know
like
that's a very dark world, but that's how I think
yeah.
about it.
I agree on that. So basically what I think is that Xbox Game Pass will lower its price, so they'll strip it of cloud gaming
Mm.
eventually, and what they'll do is, just offer you enough time to get you hooked into that game, so now you want to buy that game for its full price.
So, okay, so that's fair. So you're saying and Daytona's saying that they actually rent stuff. So what I heard you say was you're saying they're gonna lower it.
Mhm.
They're gonna let you demo a game.
Yes.
This sounds a lot like what Stadia was actually. Let you demo it for free. Actually, I don't even think they would just do it for free. Um, that's what I think they would do. And you demo it. I still think you're running into the same issue. Like I think Game Pass is Xbox Game Pass, their model isn't in trouble because it doesn't make money. Let me start there.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's not in trouble because it doesn't make money. It's in trouble because it doesn't make enough money. And that's where I'm like, even if we go with your idea,
Mhm.
you still are running up. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I think that's really good, Audi, where you went with that. You're still running up against the problem that most gamers are playing older gamer games and not new games. You're still running up
Yeah.
against this problem for people's time. You're still running up against the problem that free to play, whether that's a multiplayer online game or whatever, Roblox or Minecraft, you're still running into a game that people are demoing and potentially not buying. And I still think you run into the overall thing that gaming is becoming to a certain degree passe as we see it, but it could happen. I think they're going to try it. I think they're going to try what you just said. I'm just not sure if it's a stable business model.
Yeah.
Hey, Joshua, how's it going? Game
It
Pass could never be the Netflix of gaming. The best it could be is your local library of games due to similarity of how books and games are consumed or are subsidized. Some libraries have games. I will say that.
yeah.
My library has games.
Yeah, so does mine.
Oh, so,
I got a
interesting.
Mario Kart 8 from there once.
Really?
Yeah.
My library, what game did they have recently that I was like, "Oh, they had Mario Tennis," which I
Mhm.
thought was really like, "Oh, that's a re that" it was like a month ago I saw that. Um, so I don't yeah, I agree with you, Game Pass is gonna look different. My thing is and Phil Spencer used to speak about this. What is the stable business model for Game Pass? And because it's in a tech company, in tech, if you think about it, over the last 10 years has went from subscription service like Windows licensing or Word or something. You went from that subscription model to have Microsoft Office to cloud as a growth driver to now it's AI bubble. Like it seems like tech is always innovating to trying to find a new bubble. And I think in direct conflict with how a gaming company finds value. And I think
Yeah.
this is friction that
Yeah. It's like you're trying to put two magnets of the opposite polarization together.
yeah, no matter how much you stick to it, it's
Yeah.
gonna continue to want to do this.
Yeah.
And and that's the like it's the problem that I think all of entertainment has when you try to put a creative endeavor in a giant system. Like
Hmm.
creativity doesn't work. You know what I mean? In
Yeah.
these huge systems, like you need to have, like you need to take risk. You need to. People say it's risk. You need to be willing to innovate,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's what systems do.
Yeah. I think well, I agree with you that you need to innovate. But I also think that companies need to be willing to take more risk and more innovation.
100%. Yeah, I think I agree. I think, yeah, and I think we're saying the same thing. I just feel
Yeah.
like large companies don't do that. I think they
Yeah.
inherently, the larger a system is, whether it's a military, whether it's a, and I'm gonna connect all these, whether it's a military company, whether it's a movie company, whether it's a gaming company, um, whether it's a car company, they don't take risk, right? Meaning,
Yeah.
like, if we look at Ford, very large car company, they could easily have dominated the US auto market, but what did they do? They started cutting costs. They started like losing the competitive edge. And then all of a sudden you had this upstart at one time called Toyota come in and just take the entire market. And to
Yeah.
the point where Ford was literally one disaster away from bankruptcy, which they actually did get that disaster, and which was the
Yeah.
Ford tire situation. And you see what happened to the entire US auto industry during the early 2000s. They needed like um, cash for clunkers or something. I forget the bill they passed.
Yeah.
Literally needed a bailout. So again, industry that large did not take risks because systems don't take risks. Let's look at the
Yeah.
military. United States, and this is coming from a veteran before you. Yeah, y'all
Yeah.
can come at me for my
Yeah.
patriotism if you want. I don't care. Like I'll say this to whoever. Um, let's use currently right now. The United States military, for all of its technology, all of its might, all of its will, uh, was out innovated by Iran. You know, this isn't like this is the truth.
Yeah.
This happened when we went into Iraq. I was there, right? Like the innovation isn't there. What do we want? We think bigger and better. And I'm not saying like stealth bombers aren't innovative. What I am
Yeah.
saying though is you run into like the bigger bullet problem, which if you ever look at like Germany during World War II, what they would do is they just had bigger, like, you see these big old guns on like trains and stuff. That's
Yeah.
not innovation. That's just, you're doing the same thing, but just bigger. Video
Yeah.
games, AAA games. You're not like, just because Hellblade 2 problem, right? Hellblade 2, beautiful game, but it's like it's not really a game. You just spent a whole bunch of money on the graphics and stuff, right? The movie industry, we talked about Disney. Just because you put a ton of money behind something, it's just like a bigger budget, but not innovative. I think systems in general don't innovate.
Hmm.
They more or less try to sustain. Let's think about billionaires. Billionaires
Yeah.
must die. Here goes another one, right? Billionaires, for all the worth of like, or all the hype around billionaires, they don't innovate. They create tax codes that allow them to just continue to accumulate wealth. This is why when you deal with high net worth individuals, it's about wealth preservation, not
Hmm.
about wealth let me go innovate. What they actually do is they go get someone the age of Daytona and tell them, like, here, we're going to give you $200,000, but you're going to give us $1 billion of worth. Like, that's what they do. So I hear you, Audi. I just think I'm a little bit more skeptical
Mhm.
when it comes to innovation
Yeah.
in large systems.
Yeah, I agree with that viewpoint. Because there becomes a certain point in time where a system becomes too big to move forward.
That well, becoming big is the goal.
Yeah.
And because of that, they're just too big to move.
Yeah.
Same thing, yeah. This is actually Napoleon 101, if you ever study Napoleon.
Mhm.
Um, his greatest
Yeah.
battles and wins were when he had smaller armies, but once he became like huge, these huge
Yeah.
150,000 person battles, that's actually when you start to see
Yeah.
his defeats, and he can't
Yeah.
really move as much. So I think it's a pattern that showcases over and over and over again throughout history.
Yeah. I recently learned about, that era and Napoleon from a YouTube channel called Oversimplified, if you heard of
Ah,
them.
no, I haven't.
So basically what they do, they touch on a topic and then animate it and make it
Uh,
super
Oversimplified.
simple to understand.
Uh, yeah, no, I know that era fairly well. Um, just yeah, I kind of understand everything leading up from uh the leading up to the reign of terror, in which you had like just the uh over consumption of the rich, like a
Mhm.
very big
Yeah.
social hierarchy leads to the reign of terror, then leads to the reverse of Rome sphere and reverse to that, and then Napoleon comes back, brings back the state, outcast comes back, and then finally the republic is built. So like no, I understand that one fairly well.
Yeah.
Um, great. Well, look, we've covered everything today. I feel like we went through so much
Yeah.
today.
One more thing that I have some thoughts on, the Capcom game.
The Death Stranding, Pragmata, the looking thing.
Ye Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Um, I played the demo of it on the Switch and the PlayStation. I'm confused about the game. Like, I did not like it, but I did not like it.
I would say I don't know. Like, it's not a day and date for me. I am gonna say it did well, 86 on
Mhm.
Metacritic.
Yeah.
So I will say like that's pretty solid. And a couple of the streamers or like reviewers I watch um said it was good. The person I would, you know who I'm gonna wait for? I'm gonna wait for Mel to give us a review. If
Yeah.
Mel, Extra Life Reviews, if he says it's a solid game, then I'm gonna pick it up. But until then, I don't know. It's not really mine, but they say it's. I mean, they say it's good. And Jeff was in chat earlier saying it was a good game.
So, what games have you been, playing?
I played a little bit of um, Shinobi,
Mhm.
the extra levels they gave out. And I just bought the Star Trek Resurgence game because I felt sad that it's going to go away. And a lot of people said it's actually a low key, really cool game. So I bought that. I've been working through, going through Reanimal and collecting everything. But to tell you the truth, I've been going through a lot of drama off
Mhm.
stream. So that's actually 2026 has been a very uh, draining year. And for me, I don't play games when I'm drained. I play them more or
Yeah.
less when I'm already like in a certain different place. So there's been a lot of that going on for me.
Yeah. For me, it's mainly been Windrose recently. That recent that recently released into early access.
Okay.
It's
Survival
a
game.
survival pirate game.
Looks cool. Looks cool if you're into survival and pirates, and it's getting pretty good scores.
Yeah, I've been playing that with Azalic, Gladiator, and Granite.
Oh my goodness, I love that y'all are like y'all are sticking together because y'all like kind of those. What was I watching y'all play? I was watching Zalik and Granite play Doom.
Mhm.
Is in Runrose now. Zalik's there now. Oh my god, I love that y'all are in there together playing with each other. I love that. I just like when people are like got their game in there. So that's super awesome. I have never really played a survival game, so maybe
Yeah.
I was looking forward to Dune, but then everybody's like, everybody loved Dune, and I was like, oh man, because that's a world I kind of know.
Yeah.
Um, but I like that y'all have the pirate one.
But beyond that, I've been reading a lot of Foundation again.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're
Uh,
reading and writing at the same time. Jeez, Ali, you're a
yeah.
busy person. So Ali, remember when you did your you came on here for the first time? You said you were getting married in February. How's married life?
Good.
Good. Okay.
Uh,
Excited. That's exciting.
yeah.
So join us in which one, Dune or in the pirate one? Maybe in Dune, but that's on the PC. I
Mhm.
forgot. It's something I want to play, but when it leaves PC. But is it on PlayStation?
It will be coming out to PlayStation later this year.
Dune or Windrose?
Uh, Dune.
Dune is coming. If Dune comes to PlayStation, I think I told y'all that. If Dune goes to PlayStation, is it coming to Switch?
It's
Before I
possible.
okay. If it for sure comes to Switch, okay. I will can does it have cross save?
I think they say it will have cross save and crossplay.
Okay,
Crossplay for sure, but cross save is more iffy.
if Dune gets cross, let me do it like this. I will play it on PlayStation for a month with y'all because y'all know I'm trying to like limit my subscriptions because I don't use them after a while.
Mhm.
Um, and if I like it, then we will. I could see myself getting more into it.
Yeah.
Um, that's what I'm going to say. I'll give y'all a month because it's like
Yeah.
two different things. Like it's like survival because I haven't really played. I'm not going to say I don't like them. I just never really played them.
Yeah.
But I could also see where y'all would make it fun because I like hanging out with y'all. So
I was like that with before what was the game that pulled me into survival? I want to say Enshrouded, if you heard of that one.
I've seen it because Miss, oh my goodness, what is her name? SPG was just here. She introduced us to her. She plays Enshrouded a ton, and I sometimes see her on. She's probably on Twitch right now. Let me just look at her name. Hold on. Let me see. What's her name? She's not streaming right now, so that doesn't help. I can't figure, but she has another name. She's like she likes purple, the color purple a lot as well. and she's one of my first people I interviewed, like, around the 20 mark, but I can't find her. Oh my god. But anyway, she plays Enshrouded.
Yeah.
She
Oh, yeah,
plays Enshrouded.
that's another thing that happened this week.
What's that?
Um, so have you heard of the streaming service called Meld?
Meld. Miss Tracy. There we go, Miss Tracy. I got it. There we go, Tracy. Thank you, Amby. Tracy, Miss Tracy. We haven't interviewed Phoenix. She doesn't want to come on. I feel like she's dodging me. But okay, which one happened?
Uh, okay, so, Meld, they released a
Yes, you were talking to me about Meld. I remember
yeah.
this. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so they released, a new feature, yeah, yesterday or the day before. Um, basically, it's a generative code AI that can create a certain actions for your streams,
Hmm.
but it cannot use art, like, it cannot generate art, if it cannot be coded.
Okay. Audi, what you just said reminds me of like Marcus G. Knight when he talks to me and it's over my head.
Mhm.
You're talking about like a streaming technology. It's AI, so I kind of have the AI streaming technologies. I tell you, I
Yeah,
already have issues with Discord, and then I'm not a coder, so,
yeah,
so I'm like, I'm just gonna do. I'm smiling and nodding, like
yeah,
okay, okay,
yeah.
like the law. I might have you right, right. Like the law, I can keep up. Current events, I can keep up. Certain games, I can keep, but you kind of like you went
Yeah.
there. I'm like, okay. So I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll look it up.
Okay,
Um, no, that's super cool. But Audi, it's past 11. I gotta get ready
okay.
because I gotta go pick up some stuff tomorrow. But let people know where they can find you, what you're playing. You already told us what you're playing, but reiterate it. And any last words you have?
I've been playing, Windrose, and you can find me on Twitch at It's Saudi, the same on YouTube, and the same on Web Novel for when I publish.
And when are you looking to publish? Or is it you're just gonna like you're just kind of going with the flow?
I'm looking to publish it probably around October-ish, like the starting chapters of it.
Well, there you go. The color purple. Hey, Jack, we're about to hop off right now, but thanks for coming by. All right, so October, self publishing. If you're
Mhm.
into the romance comedy with a little bit of drama, you're
Yeah.
going to be having um, unsweed, which means unspoken. So you're going to have that. Did I get that right? Did I get that right?
I I'm Sweden.
Unsweedon, which means
Yeah.
unspoken in Old English. And so, yeah, we're gonna be looking forward to that. Thank you, Crow, for staying around too, and thank you, Daytona. Thank you, Addie, for coming. Thank you for the gifted, Ambi, as well as Lotus, and thanks for staying, Zalek, as well. I will play Dune with y'all, so like, let me come to PlayStation. I'll play Dune. All right.
Yeah.
With that said, I may not be around next Thursday. I will obviously post it in the community and in the Discord if I'm not. But until then, um, I don't care where you game, how you game, what you game on, how long you've been gaming. As long as you're gaming, you're good with me. And as always, this is Plays, and the proof is in the playing. All right. Thank you all. And I will talk to you all on the next one.